This is college football at its absolute best.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne.
I think I got my swagger back. Oh.
I love it, baby.
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. McGrath for the win. He got it. If you don't like college football and you watch this one, I'm not sure what your problem is.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Thursday, February 8th. Fired up. We've got a fun show for you guys. First off, we're gonna recap that win over LSU. Sure, got a little
uneasy.
That might be the right word. It was never in doubt.
Yeah,
it just you kind of like winced for a minute. You're like, oh, what's gonna go? What's gonna happen? But regardless, I mean, it was a really solid win overall. Some solid individual performances. Despite some second half lulls, overall good team performance. So yeah, I mean, you got to be fired up about what this basketball team's doing. And we actually talk about that with another reason I'm excited for this episode. Guys, we're going live in studio. I guess not live, but we were live at some point in studio.
Yeah.
with
a guest for the first time.
With a guest. Yeah, it's weird. Deuce was technically our first guest, but now that he's kind of part of the team, he's no longer the guest. So sorry.
Yeah.
But we've got friend of the pod, and that's we say that for a lot of people. We mean it, whether he likes it or not. We mean it with him because he's been on a lot. He's come to the tailgate. Like, he is a friend of the pod now. Connor Pavoloni, if you don't know who I'm talking about yet, we're excited to get him in. He's actually about to head to Florida for spring training. So we brought him to South Knoxville for a few minutes before he did that, and got to talk.
He had to get acclimated to that warm weather down in Florida, so he had to come to South Knoxville a little bit.
Yeah, the closest you can get to Florida is probably South Knoxville.
Yeah, exactly.
And Knoxville.
Mm-hmm. It's facts.
Honestly, geography, guys. But we talk about. I mean, obviously, we talk ball baseball. We talk some of his, what's going on in his career currently and what has happened in it. But kind of just a fun episode. Just we kind of get into everything.
Yeah, just guys being dudes catching up.
Ross Kivett kind of gets a shout out.
Yeah, Ross Kivett, like, even though he's not in the show, he's kind of like always making an appearance somehow. I don't know what he did to this show when he used to come on quite a bit, but yeah, he just kind of cursed it a little bit where his name's always being brought up.
We gotta make sure we tag him tonight when it gets to the part that he's mentioned, and see if maybe he'll call you because he thinks it's live.
Yeah, and Michigan just beat Wisconsin in basketball.
Oh gosh,
so
I'm
shocked that I haven't heard anything from him.
Well, he's working, man. He's working.
Yeah. He's getting fired up for this. He's got other things to worry about. He's got to worry about his own team, not Michigan.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, ton of fun with Connor. We appreciate him coming in. It was a good time to be in person, and the whole. I know Tuesday night's episode was a little like chaotic live.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense of we were kind of ADHD all over the place. Like, you saw my ADHD live and in action, but I love in person. Just I don't know. I feel like we're the better versions of ourselves in person, so we got to do it more often. I hope everyone enjoyed the episode. I know, like I said, it especially later on, it gets more important issues after dark for sure. But I still think we had a ton of fun Tuesday, so I hope you all did too.
Yeah, I love doing it. It is like a lot more kind of work to set up everything and take it all down, but I just feel like the product, like, it's more personable. I guess.
Yeah. It's just nice to talk and not, I don't know, it just feels better in person.
Yeah, like COVID's over. Like Zoom, why is Zoom a thing anymore?
Exactly. Bingo.
Talk man to man.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that I hope y'all enjoyed it. We'll definitely be doing more of that. And then kind of said all that to say we get to sit down live with Connor and first off, I mean, he's always one of our no disrespect to our other guests. We've had awesome guests on. We appreciate all their time. Connor's always a great guest. And then getting to do it in person with him elevates it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just been a great friend since we got him on the first time. Just stayed in touch, and yeah, good to just catch back up.
Absolutely. We'll get into that interview obviously here soon. Before we do that, we're gonna jump into this LSU game and then talk a little more Tennessee basketball. Obviously, we talked a lot the other night about we kind of dogged on Kentucky for most of the time, but we talked about how important these next 6 games are, and it's with LSU. I think that's why it became uneasy as well for a minute, is because I'm sitting there thinking these games are so important. You can't drop the first one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, and from the jump, it just felt like, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
And then they kind of made a little bit of a. I think they cut it with the 9 at one point. But Tennessee just put them away. I mean, Tennessee covered. Yeah. Tennessee won by 20. I know the game is. I think somebody said it. Whoever was calling the game was like, it's just flows. Like it's ups and downs within the game, and that's just how it works out. A 20-point win is a 20-point win at the end of the day. So,
absolutely. I think there is. I kind of mentioned it Tuesday night, talking about how why I thought Tennessee struggled with South Carolina, and I think I'm not saying this team isn't physical. I'm not saying they don't play that same similar style of basketball that Rick Barnes has always kind of brought in, but I think they aren't as physical as past teams. Specifically mentioned like that Admiral and Grant team. Those couple teams that they were on they were always going to be hitting somebody. I bet you can count on your hand the number of times they got out rebounded. Those teams, they love being physical. They love banging around. Talked about with South Carolina, how when teams come in and play physical against this Tennessee team, it's just a different animal. They're going to have to find ways to respond. LSU came out in the second half and said, we're going to just, it's also probably nice to kind of be down 20 at that point, because you can just go do whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can be a little more risky, I guess.
It can get worse, but
not really. Like, what's a 20-point versus a 40-point loss?
Right.
Honestly,
yeah, it's not really anything. You're right.
But they credit to them. They kind of just play with a little bit of reckless abandonment. They go and just completely. The boards were not our friend tonight, I think is the best way to put that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of we got killed on the offensive glass.
Yeah.
They had 18 offensive rebounds. We had 5. I think a lot of that is Tennessee does such a good job of defending the basketball. Like, a lot of their jump shots were contested, and it wasn't good shots. It's not like a miss that goes around the rim and comes right off the side. Like, usually a bunch of their misses were hammering the rim or air balls, or it just feel like it was all over the place, and that's what led to a lot of their offensive rebounds. Now, put a body on a body. I understand that.
No, I don't think you're wrong. I definitely agree. It goes, again, something we talked about on Tuesday, how much luck is involved in this game. Obviously, 18 rebounds. It wasn't 18 bad luck, but there were several that, they hit the rim in a way, or they come off so weird that you're like, it's unfortunate. Like, there were several of those.
Yeah. I think there was one tonight where it bounces off the rim and Josiah and Vescovi run after it, and it hits Vescovi like in the hands, but he thought Josiah was going to grab it, and he goes out of bounds. Like, that was just, it's like no one was around. Like, LSU didn't do anything to get the ball back. Just kind of like you said, that luck.
Yeah. Definitely got to do better, but there were times where you're like, that just sucks.
Yeah. And I think LSU did do a good job of like attacking the glass. I don't know if they just everybody on their team just assumed that shot wasn't going in. Like there was no trust at all in their shooters whatsoever.
I think after the first half, I don't know what their field goal percentage was at halftime. I think after the first half, it wasn't good. I think it was one of those things like, hey, we're going to have second chances.
Yeah, I think it was 28%.
Awesome. Love that.
Yeah, I think we were 9 for 13 from 3. They were 10 for 28, I think, from the field.
Our first half percentage had to be, we finished at 55 from field goal. It was not that good in the second half. So the first half percentage had to be insane. They said it at some point in the game. I can't remember off the top of my head what was said. But the
3-pointers in general were, I mean, you were 2 for 11 in the second half.
Shout out to Jordan Gainey, though.
Is he back?
I hope. We talked about it. First off, you get double-digit performances from Jordan Gainey, you're probably going to win the ball game.
Yeah.
If you didn't, something went drastically wrong. He goes for a career high the other night, 18 points. He's 6 of 9. He's 50% field goal range, from 3-point range, 3 of 6. Shooters shoot. I know I'm sure there's people who tweeted about the 3 he missed. Dude scored 18 points.
Yeah, and they weren't all they weren't all 3-pointers. I think that is the big thing with him and Josiah. Like, you don't have to just sit out there. Like, that's not your only job. Like, that's not your only move. Is like, hey,
that is Jordan Gainey's only job.
Yes, but he proved tonight that like he is more than just like he can be a scorer and not just a shooter.
Yeah, I mean he earned his 26 minutes tonight because he was more dynamic. And I know
he got 3 steals, he got 3 assists, a couple rebounds. I mean, he was all over the court tonight.
Yeah, I know LSU isn't high-powered offense or anything, but he played great defense tonight. I talked about how his defense isn't a liability, but it's not fantastic. Tonight it was fantastic. The other night was fantastic. Speaking of steals, I've never seen someone be able to steal the ball as easily as Kai Ziegler was tonight. It was insane.
Pretty fun to watch.
That one where Baker, I think, tried to back him down, and he turned to put his body on him, and Zakai just kind of like, it was almost like I don't know if he planned it or he just, he saw an opening and went, but it's like he invited him to back him down, slipped out from under him, and he made him look stupid. Very dumb.
It was
like he swim moved him.
Yeah. He just like
first half
grabbed it before he could even like react to Zakai coming close to him.
I think he put the ball on the floor once when he went to back him down. And then as it was coming back up to him, Zakai swiped it.
Gone. Yeah. Yeah.
He's so much fun to watch.
Dude, I mean, he is a menace. I mean, I would absolutely hate playing against, because you're thinking like, oh, like he's small, like I can shoot over him. But I feel like he's got a longer wingspan than people probably realize, because like people like try to back into him and he'll just reach around and poke the ball out.
Yeah.
Like he's very sneaky with how he, he's just always there. I feel like, and it just probably drains an opposing player.
Absolutely. He's incredibly fun, and it got mentioned. It broke my heart. He got mentioned on the post game. They had him on, and it's talked about how if he doesn't get injured last year, Tennessee probably doesn't lose to FAU. What happens after that? And I was like, thanks, guys. I'd kind of just like forgot about how sad the end of that season was, both that you lost Zakai and the way it ended. Thank you for bringing that up, though. I sincerely appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Unfortunate. I do want to. We were talking Tuesday, and I don't remember who mentioned it, but we were talking about Cam Carr and how we think he's earned more minutes, and those minutes were probably going to come from Jordan Gainey. And
what do you do now?
yeah,
What do you
I
do?
think you got to give him right back to Gainey.
Yeah, I'm the one who said I think the only place you can take him is Gainey. I guess you could see Zakiah drop down a few more minutes, but what can he realistically give up? Like 2 more minutes?
Yeah.
You want him playing.
I mean, you won by 20-9. Zakiah played 36 minutes.
You want him most games he's gonna really need to play 32, 35 minutes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But then you also see Gainey gets 26. And that's not gonna be normal either.
Yeah.
But that's also Vescovi only had 21 tonight. So
yeah, there was that lineup early in the first half.
Yeah.
We were just like, what is it? Was Estrella, it was Cam Carr and Jordan Gainey. I think Vescovi and maybe Adu. Or
I think
Awaka.
someone's pissed Rick Barnes off. He's not like, or maybe he's doing it for fun. Maybe he is recognizing how much they're just dog walking people in the SEC. And he's like, hey, have you ever seen these 3 guys or any guys like these 3 in a 20-point blowout victory in SEC play? Because if you haven't, you are tonight. And we did.
I think it was part of that, like, hey, you're ruining my reputation. Like, we can't score 100 in this half. So let's put just a hodgepodge of players in. And there's no way it actually works. And that's kind of when Tennessee cooled off a little bit in the first half. It was like right after that first initial run that group went in. I was like, why? Like, keep that foot on the gas, but whatever. I mean,
it's working. I mean, he is, and he's winning ball games. And all these people can say, wait till March, whatever. You can wait till March. I'm going to have fun in February. You sad people.
Also, what's the SEC standings are so dumb because
we're a full game behind. Well,
yeah, basically
we're 2 games behind, right? At one point, I'm confused. I thought we were just a game behind, but I guess like South Carolina hasn't had their break yet, so I guess we're just a game behind right now. Is that right?
Yeah. So I guess the top would be Alabama. Oh, that was their second loss.
Alabama
they got waxed,
demolished.
Yeah, they got waxed.
Yeah.
I assume it's those 4 teams. It's got to be Auburn, Alabama, South Carolina, and Tennessee, like all bunched up right there.
Yeah. South Carolina's not good, right? And when I say not good, I'm not saying they're just atrocious. I don't believe that. You don't win 20 games as quickly and not be good. I just mean, I would have never thought they were at the top of the SEC. Yeah, they're impressive in how they play. They are. I will credit them that absolutely. But I don't know. I don't know what to think about that team.
Yeah. Dalton Connect was just I mean, I hate saying underwhelming, but like
very quiet.
Very quiet. It was just like, how many did he have? 27? Good God. But I do want to say this about Dalton Connect. He isn't just a scorer. No. He had 6 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 offensive rebounds, 2 steals, 3 blocks. I mean, he fills up the stat sheet. He's not just a offensive guy. Like he has some defense to him too. And I think I know like a big recruiting pitch to him was like, hey, everybody knows you're good offensively. Can you come here and play defense? Because if you can't play defense, you're not going to play at Tennessee. Like that is
right.
Everybody knows that. Rick Barnes is not going to play if you can't play defense. And I think he's doing more than holding his own on. I don't think he's a weakness at all. Yeah. Whereas maybe like you give up a little bit to get some on the offensive end. I don't think that's the case. I think now there's some times where he gets put on a big where, maybe he isn't just hacking to get a foul, if there's a rebound or somebody gets the ball close to the rim, he probably just isn't just going to get a tic-tac foul. But I mean, I thought he plays pretty well defensively.
Yeah, he's definitely not your best defensive player as of yet, but he's a good defensive player. And I think he maybe looked like he was going to struggle earlier in the season. And I think he's just played better. And that's one thing about this team as well with Dalton Connect. Through the first 4 SEC games, I mean, you're thinking, well, it'll be the Dalton Connect show if Tennessee's successful. And Dalton Connect still played really well. For the most part, still been kind of your highlight guy. But the way that you talk about his assists, the way you talk about he's able to get involved in other ways, this team being able to play either around him or even looking back at Kentucky, kind of make up some ground when teams key on him because they're going to.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that this team is able to be more dynamic while Dalton Connect is also more dynamic has impressed me a lot. I think they seem to just find kind of new ways to play good basketball each week, which is encouraging. And then going back to that consistency too, you still have Jonas Adu, who's playing good basketball right now. Sure, LSU wasn't his best performance, but it's kind of like Kentucky where he wasn't really filling up the stat sheet too much, especially in the first half. But at some point you kind of stop and you're like, man, he's helping you a lot.
Yeah.
And
super solid.
10 points. Good. Perfect. We'll take it. Obviously, you'd like to see him better on the boards, but he also has 3 blocks. Like he's still being consistent. He's still around. He's still playing good basketball. Zakai Ziegler. I mean, I can't say enough about him. Those 2 guys playing consistent around Dalton Connect, and then you're going to get your performances from Jordan Gainey. You're going to get your performances from Jonas Adu, from Santiago Vescovi, from Josiah Jordan James. Tobe Awaka, I mean, didn't do much tonight. Didn't need to. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. Tennessee has a ton of weapons. I wanted to talk about Zakai a little bit more. It just seems like when he wasn't playing well and it was just Dalton Connect and everybody's kind of looking at Dalton Connect, like especially in that South Carolina game, they're like, hey, what are you going to do? I feel like people kind of get a little disengaged, especially like Jonas Adu, whereas like Zakai, when he's pushing the ball up the floor, like everybody seems to have their head on a swivel because they're like, when is he gonna like pull something out of his ass to get it to me?
Right.
It's just so impressive to watch. I mean, he had one today where he drives in the lane and he takes one dribble back, and it's just enough to get the guy guarding Adu to just stop, and he hits Adu wide open under the basket. I mean, it's beautiful to watch him just facilitate and just make plays, and it makes everybody else better. It makes a Dalton Connect 27 a lot easier than Dalton Connect scoring, 39. I mean, when he was scoring that much against like South Carolina and teams like that, it seemed like he was having to go on like an unreal run to get those points. Whereas like the 27 tonight, it just came pretty easily. Like
quiet. I think you said quiet was the first word you used. Very subtle.
Yeah.
Very, very impressive performance from a lot of guys. Like I said, an overall good team performance. Like to shake off those. Sure, basketball's a game of up and downs. Let's make those downs a little less down.
Yeah.
We're okay with the lows. We just don't want them to be real low,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We want the lows to be highs as well. How about that?
That's good. Yeah, I like that. Just stay like this. You don't have to go a valley. Just stay a little stagnant.
That's why we don't like roller coasters, guys.
Yeah, we like straightaways. We like a dragster race.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Next game at Texas A&M on Saturday, 8:00. God bless.
Yeah, I'll be sorry, guys.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take a nap before that one.
Another physical. I mean, this is just SEC play too at this point. Another physical matchup. Got to shoot the ball really well on the road. You're gonna have to hope Buzz Williams stays off the court. Good news is we know that he'll wear a tie with his 3-piece. Well, he won't even have a jacket on, so it's not a 3-piece suit. But we know he'll wear a tie.
There's definitely going to be a vest involved.
Yeah. I was also thinking last night as I made fun of John Calipari. I was thinking about how many times I've worn a tie without a suit, or a tie with. I haven't worn a tie with a suit. I've done a lot more with the sport coat, but going to some weddings this year that you don't know how dressy they are. But I wanted to wear I was like, I'll wear a suit, but I feel like a tie would be too dressed up. I found myself doing it a lot more often than I was comfortable with.
Yeah, do you think he's like trying to make a statement of him just being super old school? Like those guys are just like, oh, this is what basketball really is. Like coaches wear this stuff. You ever
Which one?
Both Buzz and Cal.
I do think I'll give credit to Buzz because he's dressed really nice.
Okay.
Like he probably goes and gets his suits tailored perfectly.
I don't know how that doesn't rip. I feel like he would.
Yes.
He would definitely rip his pants.
But he seems like someone who's very he's very aware of what he's wearing. Calipari looks like he may not know what he's picking up from the dry cleaners that day. He's a guy that doesn't look good in a suit. You know, I don't know if he doesn't get it tailored. I don't know what the deal is. He kind of looks lousy in a suit.
He's a poor man Buzz Williams.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a good look on him.
Yeah. I want to see what Buzz's neck size is. I mean, it seems
Big.
like it would be unreal.
Big. Huge. What was yours again?
Big.
not as big as Buzz Williams.
Not that big. I don't remember exactly what it was. Maybe the next time we do it in person, we'll measure my neck.
I've got a measuring thing.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
Do you know? I hate to go tangent, but now that we're talking about it, do you know like what is the history of basketball coaches wearing suits? I mean, everyone. I guess not everyone. Baseball's kind of always had the uniform one, but football coaches even wore suits at one point. Is it just? I guess suits used to be more casual, anyways. Or I guess casual is not the right word. People just dressed up nicer.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, a lot of the players like would have to dress nice. I mean, we even had to do it in middle school. We had to wear a tie. We all looked like morons because nothing fit.
Nothing. I was about to say we probably look dumber than just if we wore like actual sweatsuits.
Right.
That fit us.
Mm-hmm.
And then, there's like ugly church shoes that you get for Easter one year. We were all wearing those. We couldn't even wear them on the back. You had to change just to get onto the basketball court. So why were you wearing? I don't know. It's a really weird thing.
Mm-hmm. Texas A&M is playing right now. Do we know that score?
Wait. Who are they playing? Yeah, sorry we're going to break the facade for you guys. We're recording this on Wednesday night. I've tried to say last night a few times, but have definitely said tonight.
Yeah.
So we're actually recording this right after the game, fresh on our minds. They are up 36-23 currently.
Okay. So they're whooping Missouri.
Mississippi State, Georgia, that's the game I have on right now. It just looks like a fun game. Both teams kind of just running the floor. Kind of looks like mayhem a little bit.
Yeah.
So that means it's probably not a good game when it's in the half court, but
yeah, I mean Texas A&M, like their guys, no secrets. Wade Taylor, he 19.8 points per game, so around what Dalton Connect had until this game. Then he put up 27, so I'm sure that will go up quite a bit. Leads in field goal percentage. I mentioned scoring, assist. I mean, kind of does it all for them. They did beat Kentucky, which is very much an upset, but it was at home. They lost to Arkansas, which is yucks. I think this is a team where everybody like had high hopes for going into the season, and they just kind of fell a little flat on their face. And yeah, they played LSU twice. They lost to them once. It looks like they're going to beat Missouri twice. They lost to Ole Miss by 3 and beat Florida by 1. So I think this is a really good middle of the pack SEC team that is probably dangerous on their home court. And that's something that Tennessee will have to watch out for. You stop Wade Taylor, you win the game. I think that's. Yeah. I mean, this I think Texas A&M is going to be a lot like South Carolina. They're going to be physical. They don't score a lot of points, so they're going to try to rebound, defend the basketball, and then have Wade Taylor, kind of lead them and, make things happen. I think they're okay playing ugly, and I think Tennessee is a little bit too. So this could be a low-scoring affair, but it would be cool if we just blew them out. That'd be awesome. I thought Tennessee was going to score 100 points against LSU. Like that 50 bomb in the first half. I'm like, all right, I guess we're just addicted to scoring 100 now. I'm okay
Triple
with that.
digits, baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would have been too much fun. Rick Barnes can't let us have too much fun.
Yeah, no, he's like, guys, like, I'm a defensive guy. This is getting out of hand.
It has been funny. I'm going to give Rick Barnes, because he may get this question at some point, I'm going to give him the cheat sheet. It's been noted the last few games that Rick Barnes has been calling timeouts at quote-unquote the appropriate times in games. I kind of wonder if it's that he has an offense that actually clicks and guys that can score. In the past, it's probably been like, what is a timeout really going to do for us here?
It might make us worse.
Yeah, so now it makes sense to call it. So there's your cheat sheet there. Give just all credit to Dalton Connect and the ways Zakai Ziegler plays with them. Just do that.
Yeah.
Like now, timeouts make sense.
Right. We figured it out.
I
really haven't.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Jinx.
Yeah. I don't.
We said something. We said something on Tuesday. I don't remember what it was at the exact same time.
That's awesome. Great minds, man. I think we've done this show for so long that we're just becoming each other.
We're synced up for sure.
Yeah.
We're like girls that hang out all the time.
Yeah.
Their bodies get synced up.
We are him.
Mm-hmm. We're them. Wait, I guess we're one. We're him.
Yeah. We are him.
I want to talk about something, but I won't because it's not more important issues after dark. Just remind me after the show.
Okay.
Just say more important issues after dark. I'll know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay. You do have a good friend to tell us about, correct?
That would, yes, but you're going to hear about him here in a minute.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
You're gonna hear about him during this interview. So hang on. It's fun. It's a good ride. A lot of good stuff. Just talking. The cool thing about, real quick, I mentioned about Connor. We get into it in the interview, but one reason to, obviously, like I said, great stuff talking about his career, both at Tennessee and with the Baltimore Orioles organization. But him and a lot of former players have been around the program. They come here for off-season workouts. They're around the team. They're there in the facility when they're there in the facility. So he's got a firsthand account of what this team's looked like during the offseason. So yeah, definitely some stuff quote unquote off topic, but as we gear up towards baseball season, a lot of good stuff to hear from Connor on that front as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this interview. We had a ton of fun. And it's in person, so you have to enjoy it. That's the rule.
Yeah. We now welcome onto the podcast, very special guest, friend of the pod, and technically the first guest in studio. This is you're on the casting couch, we call it. Just a name we came up with. Doesn't mean anything.
No, it feels great. Feels great.
If you guys don't recognize him, I feel bad for you, but I'll introduce him properly just to get, I guess, the semantics out of the way. Connor Pavoloni, former Vol. He is catching with the Orioles, still with the Orioles organization. I probably should know that, but I don't know a lot of things, so that's okay. We're excited to have you. Thank you for coming all the way to South Knoxville to make this happen.
Dude, I've been all over Knoxville this offseason, so it's and this was something that I really want to do. We talked about this forever, so I'm excited to be here. Definitely, a friend of the show. I really enjoy coming on and talking about Tennessee baseball is one of my favorite hobbies. So
yeah. And we may do it while we're recording, but before you were on Tennessee basketball too.
Dude, yeah. I mean, what a time, right? Beating Kentucky in Rupp, beating Kentucky period is always fun.
Mm-hmm.
But those guys look really good right now, and it's a really fun brand of basketball they're playing right now. It's a lot of fun to watch, and I never really get into basketball in general. Like when I was here, I'd go watch them play, guys like Josiah and Grant Williams, but I've never been a huge basketball guy, but I really enjoy watching these guys play.
Duncan, that makes it a little fun.
Dalton does make it very fun to watch. Very fun to watch.
You mentioned you're like, how we're going to talk about basketball. Here we are doing it. You mentioned is like Dalton, can you imagine Dalton Connect would only score 16 points in Rupp, and Tennessee goes for 103. Also, just a white kid named Dalton from South Dakota. Can you imagine someone like that would be tearing up the SEC? Maybe SEC Player of the Year, National Player of the Year. I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Yeah, you got to go through a 7-4 guy. Whatever. Yeah, that's insane. South Dakota. Is that really where he's from?
Yeah, Fargo, right?
Okay.
No offers out of high school either. I don't think, if I remember right.
Sounds right.
Yeah,
I
Went JUCO, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then went to a D1, and
hit
now
a
he's
growth
here.
spurt, and now he's here. Yeah, doing his thing.
I mean, dude, it's pretty cool to see. And I mean, great story. Seems like a great kid from everybody that I've talked to. He's a great kid, and obviously a great basketball player. So it's unbelievable to see what he's doing on the court, and just somebody who goes out there and routinely scores that many points on a Tennessee basketball team, who's always been known for, at least when I've followed them, as a real defensive team. Like, for them to go out and score triple digits in Rupp, I think is pretty cool. And it's just, like I said, it's just really fun to watch.
Scoring sales. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Football, baseball, and now Dalton Connect scoring sales. And I think that's why Danny White's like, hey, after every big win, I'm going to send out a email saying, hey, don't forget to renew your tickets for next year.
I renew my Monday. That hurt the old bank account.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see Dalton Connect get beat in knockout on Sunday?
I did not.
So he went to, I think it was D1, like a kids camp or just an appearance thing. And I guess they played knockout. I mean, this kid was maybe 10 to 12 years old, beat him in knockout. Have you had that happen to you? Anything like that at a kids camp? Any kid kind of not that you were like trying super hard, but maybe you're like, maybe I should have tried hard there.
I mean, maybe once or twice. I feel like baseball is not one of those games where that happens,
Yeah.
But when we're talking about a 12-year-old beating somebody, you got to get lucky once or twice, but I don't think I've really ever had that happen when I've been in college, but it could definitely happen. Like you let your guard down for 1 minute. Next thing you know, everybody's laughing at you because you got beat by a 12-year-old. So it's like you can't take any breaks. But then everybody gets mad at you if you beat them.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose. Never do that.
Yeah, if you're ever throwing like BP for a 12-year-old team, just don't make it hard. Don't throw BP. Throw at them.
No, yeah, I'm pitching to them
because they'll remember that home run they hit off of you.
Oh yeah.
So
you won't ever hear anything. No. And then when their mom comes to watch you play, and they bring the dad and the kid, and it's like, oh, do you remember when he hit a homer off of you at camp? And I'll be like, I do remember that. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. He should sign a ball for you. At that point, he should sign a ball for you.
Yeah. No, I need to get his autograph on my hat. Because I don't wear hats. I just wear my Scully. So I'll just keep the hat in my locker with his signature on it.
Yeah. Is that weird to get a hat and you never really use it?
No, it's awesome because now all my hats look brand new. Like I have a thing in my bag at home of all of my minor league hats that I've gotten in my career, and they all look like unworn because I will have special nights and I wear them for one game, and especially if I'm not playing in that game where I have the day off, I won't even wear the hat. I'll just wear a hoodie with the hood up with no hat on, and then just keep the hat. We can make some money.
So you and Kirby total opposites on hats.
Yeah.
I feel like that man goes through some hats.
I definitely go through like these hats.
Speaking of that, we're
yeah. Wait, how many? So you go through those? How many have you had?
This is my second one. I wear one of these to work out.
Okay.
And then this is the one that I wear around because it doesn't look like it's been
right. Up. Every baseball player we've had on a live show has worn that.
Yeah. It's my favorite hat.
Note that. I feel like we deserve at least one to share between me and Landon at this point.
I have been offered an embarrassing amount of money for this hat.
I'm sure.
When I go to a football game or something like that. And honestly, I feel bad for not taking it, but
I feel like that's the right thing to do. Have you been to Baton Rouge?
No.
What's the bar there called?
Fred's.
If you're ever in Baton Rouge, I mean, you'll know, you'll end up there.
Yeah.
Much like bigger Cool Beans kind of vibe deal to it. They have these pinstripe button-up shirts all the workers wear. I'm glad she said no because I regret it the next morning. I offered her $1,200 for a shirt, and she said no. And I was like,
$1,200? Did that just slip out of your mouth?
No, it kept going. I was like 100,
okay.
and she immediately said no. I was like 300. I think I went 6, and then I went to 12. She said no. So she thought about it.
At 12, you're like, please say no.
Yeah. I couldn't back down though.
Yeah.
So
when we played in Columbia, apparently there's a bar in Columbia called Pat's.
Oh.
And so I was gonna go there
Okay.
when we played in Columbia and get
Yeah.
like a shirt or something, but I just never did it. And that's something that
Mm.
I regret about being on the road. And yes, like
Mm.
one of my only like road trip regrets is not going there and getting like a
Yeah,
shirt.
and you're not going to Columbia by choice, so
No, absolutely not. I do enjoy playing in Columbia though.
So how
I
does
did enjoy playing there.
how does that work with traveling to an opposing stadium? Like, do y'all get like free time, or how does that work?
Yeah. So basically, Friday we'll arrive on Thursday, and
Yeah.
practice in their stadium Thursday night, just so we can get used to the surroundings with no fans in it. Because every stadium might look the same, but all of the fields are different. So like my routine on Thursday is before we even stretched or anything, I'd always go to home plate and see how many paces it would take for me to get to the wall behind home plate, just in case somebody hits a foul ball.
Yeah.
Like a fly ball, I can look up and I know how many steps I have until I hit the wall. And then I would throw a ball off of their padding just to see like if there's a pitcher, like a wild pitch, and I'll have a chance to like make a play at home, something along those lines. But yeah, we'll get there Thursday night, and then we'll have up until practice, we have like semi free time depending on what time we get there. And then after practice, we can do whatever. We have to be in bed by, if I remember right, it was like 10:30, and they would room check us at the hotel. I stopped getting room checked at some point because I would be asleep by like 10:30. If you ever talk to V, like he knows that I enjoy my sleep, and they just stopped room checking me and Chad because they knew that I would be asleep. And Chad, that he was just starting the next day, so they knew that he'd probably be asleep too.
Yeah.
And then Friday morning we would go hit in their stadium, and then after that we had free time until we left at like 3. So we'd probably have like 11 to 3 Friday and Saturday to do whatever we want. And typically I have a lot of friends that are scattered across the SEC.
Yeah.
So like whenever we'd take SEC trips, I would always go get lunch, like with like my high school friends.
Oh, that's cool.
And so that was something that I really enjoyed about traveling, like especially to Georgia, where I'm from. Like
Right.
I'd go to breakfast before we go to hit at Georgia, and then I go lunch with friends that I have
Nice.
just from home. And but yeah, you get a little bit of free time. In Missouri, the only part I liked about Missouri was that we stayed next to a mall. And so we went and spent
Yeah, I
all
get
of
that.
our per diem at the mall.
Oh, well, food
After
court.
that, yep. Same thing with the SEC tournament. We actually stayed in the mall at the SEC tournament. And so like that was one of my favorite parts, was going into the mall and spending all of that per diem that we get, because you get more at the SEC tournament than you do on regular road trips. Yeah.
Just hang out at Brookstone in the sauce chairs.
Oh, I wish they still had those in the mall.
I was about to say I haven't been in a mall in a while. I don't even know if that,
No, I
that
wish
still
they still had
exists.
those. I love those stores. I'd usually just go to like Oakley and buy a pair of sunglasses that I don't need, or just buy anything that I don't need, which is why they got to keep me out of those.
That's
I
fair.
don't remember the last thing I bought at a mall.
You stumped me. I don't know.
I've been in a mall like recently, but I never buy anything.
I go
I'm
to
like,
that
oh, I would
Lulu.
like to have that.
I go to that Lulu in town center.
Okay.
That's the only thing I go to the mall for is Lululemon.
I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, I
I'm out on
got a
that.
loan to buy anything.
Yeah.
There.
That's pretty interesting. I almost made the joke that, every baseball field is different, stadium's different, that you don't really have to, first, second, and third are all the same. But yeah, I didn't even think about the back wall. That's really interesting. That's something I never would have considered.
I don't have a different playing surface I have to worry about. Which
Right.
is so nice. It's great because
Yeah.
like one of the biggest things here is like we love turf
Mhm.
because we can, obviously play in the rain, and LSU in the Super. Like we wouldn't play that if we had dirt.
That series would have finished on maybe Tuesday.
Yeah, maybe Tuesday. And so it was like, yeah, it's great playing in the rain, but when you go to another stadium that plays on dirt, it's different. And the playing, like fielding ground balls and doing everything on dirt, is different. And so like that's one of the advantages that I really enjoy is I don't have to worry about, oh, this ball's going to bounce different on this turf than it will on the dirt, because it doesn't. It might roll different on dirt than turf, but it won't bounce different. So blocking is the same. But yeah, the only thing, because like some stadiums have really small backstops. We personally have a really small backstop. But I'm trying to think of like somewhere that has a big one. South Carolina had a pretty big one.
Florida have a big one?
Florida had a pretty big one when I was there. I played in Florida's old stadium though. I don't know anything about their new one.
The Hoover's got a pretty big one because it's got
Hoover's
that door
huge
behind it.
Oh, Hoover's huge, man. I mean, that whole park is just a graveyard. Like,
Yeah.
it's great to play there, and I think it's an interesting place to have the SEC tournament. But like that park is a graveyard. Like you see guys hit homers there, and like after playing there, it's so impressive. Like what Drew Gilbert and Blake Burke do.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so impressive.
Hey, you may know this. Hoover High School, I don't know if you watch two-a-days at
Mhm.
all. They used to play in two-a-days. That's where they play is blanking on the name of the stadium now, but they play in that
The
stadium.
Hoover Mat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they have their own field now, but
Yeah, they do have their own field because we practice there for the
Right.
SEC tournament.
yeah, the football team used to play. I remember always watching 2 days. I was like, how does a high school team have luxury suites. It was at the Met. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice school though. Really nice.
Yeah, I'm
They
sure.
have indoor cages for high school.
Wow.
It was really nice. They took care of us at the SEC tournament, especially when we went all the way,
Yeah.
like played Arkansas. Like they really took care of us every time we had to practice there. So it was a lot of fun.
You're talking to us a little bit about kind of the day in the life of a minor league baseball player. I'm always like infatuated with that a little bit because it's not like, I mean, you see these guys in the big leagues. I mean, you're sharing a house with somebody in just a few weeks. So what is that kind of like? How's your experience been like a minor league baseball player? Because you've been in a couple different teams, couple
Mhm.
different cities. So how is that for you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on a couple different teams in different cities, but I've also played at different levels. And as you go up in levels, obviously the pay gets better, but they treat you a little better. It's a little different.
It's a rookie balding off on.
Not great. Low A is not great, but like you said, like I'm gonna go. This is the first year where I'm getting an Airbnb for spring training. Where like I would live in a hotel for a month and a half. I was just telling someone this on the phone, literally on my way here. It's like I'd usually live in a hotel for a month and a half with John Rhodes, who actually went to Kentucky.
Mhm.
Yeah, how did he take that game on Saturday?
I don't know. I got to call him about it. I got to call him about it. But he's a Tennessee fan deep down. He just,
Yeah.
not everybody knows it. But yeah, so we would live together for a month and a half in a hotel, and that's just it's not awful, but it's not great. You know, like it's not being able to cook, not being able to do anything. And so we actually got an Airbnb this year because of the new CBA that they signed for minor leaguers this last off season. Was one of the stipulations in there was they have to give us X amount a day to live out of the hotel if we wanted to. And so we're taking full advantage of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And living in an Airbnb, it's me, him, and two other guys. And I think it's just a lot better for your mentals too, like staying in a house rather than going home to a hotel with like all of your belongings. And but when you're in season, it's especially now with the new CBA, they have to get us an apartment in season. And so where I would live in a hotel in season before then, I didn't play a full season like that, but my first experience in low A was living in a hotel right after I got drafted in 21. But now they have to get you an
not
apartment.
a nice hotel. I'm assuming.
No, not a great
Did you
one.
get room service?
No. The greatest hotel I stayed in had a thermostat that went down to like 55.
Oh yes.
Dude, I was so cozy in there.
Get your money's worth.
Oh yeah.
Burn up this AC.
But now they have to get us apartments. So John and I live in an apartment every year. We've fortunately, been blessed enough to be at the same level for the most part. He got promoted to Double A my first year in High A later in the year, but we've been fortunate enough to be together for a majority of our career and room together. So it's nice, not only like living with someone but living with someone that you like too.
Yeah.
And so the apartments are really nice. It's nice being able to cook, but I'll wake up at like 9:30, 10 on a game day. We play at 7:00. I go to the field at like 12:30. And if I have to lift that day, I'll lift. We'll hit at like 2. And then the biggest thing that I had to get used to between then and like between college and pro ball is just how much downtime you have when you're in the field.
Yeah.
Like, dude, 6.5 hours at the field. Like you're not moving the whole time.
Spend a lot of money at Lulu with that kind of
Oh
stuff.
yeah, a lot with too much money. But like we have so much downtime. So like I'll hit from 2 to 3 and then not have to go hit BP till like 4:30. So like I'm stretching like 3 times.
Yeah. You're not going to class changes playing baseball.
Oh, it's great though. Not having to go to class. I was gonna take classes this fall if they lined up like with my schedule. I'm kind of glad
I think you're just getting bored. Is what that says.
I really am.
You're like,
I
man,
wake up in the mornings and I'm like, wow, I
guess I'll learn.
gotta wait till 12:30 to go to the field today. And then I get home. We could play at 7 with the new pitch clock rules. We get done by 9:30. Like a 3-hour game is so uncommon. We're like, oh my gosh, that was 3 hours long. And then I'm home 10:15, 10:30 post game meal, crushed it, ready to go. I honestly watch a lot of the West Coast games when I get home because I really enjoy. One, the West Coast teams are loaded.
Yeah.
And 2, like it's good baseball too, especially at night. And then we get every Monday off, which is so nice. So
what do you do on Mondays? Just hang?
nothing. I literally don't have the energy to do anything. I'll play PlayStation all day. And
so have you gotten really good at any game, or do you just jump around?
Good is relative. I think I'm competitive in Call of Duty.
Okay.
It just depends on the day, honestly, and who I'm playing with. Because I have friends that are really good at Call of Duty, really good.
Yeah.
And I just literally can't play with them if I'm not trying to have a bad day.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, hey man, I'm having a good day. I'm not gonna get on Call of Duty right now.
Play by yourself.
Yeah. No, I'm just gonna play by myself and give me an hour. then we can play. You know? But their lobbies are just too good. They're too good at the game. And so during the year, like trying to find hobbies and do whatever throughout the year for those 2 hours till I go to the field. And then when I get home, I go to sleep at like 11:30, midnight. The thing for me is like staying up later during the season because I play at 7 and I'm not trying to like yawn in the third inning.
Yeah. Are you allowed to golf any?
Oh yeah, we can do whatever.
Okay.
We have pitchers that golf at like 10 o'clock tee times, and then we'll go to the field and throw. And especially if they're not pitching that day, like And I was telling someone today at the field, like we're in Sarasota for spring training, and we have pitchers show up to the field in bathing suits. Like they show up to the field at 10 o'clock in a bathing suit. They throw for like an hour and a half, and then they go to the beach.
It's pretty weird how the pitchers are so important to the game of baseball, but they live very much like a kicker.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very strange
but you better be good
situation. They are arguably the most, it's a team sport. It's like football. It's like quarterback's not the most important, but he is. Kind of same deal with like a pitcher, like most crucial position, but you walk in on practice and they're playing ping pong and eating drinking Starbucks. Like, are you an athlete?
Who's a pitcher without a catcher, right?
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
And you're grinding, and you look over there, and they've got DoorDash coming to the dugout.
Yeah, and these guys are sitting in the dugout, just like you said, with DoorDash, just relaxing in the dugout. And I'm like, God, that must be so nice. You throw 1 day a week, but like I said, I mean, it's a give and take too. Like when they throw, they better be good or they're gonna have a week to think about it. Whereas like if I don't do well, like all right, I'm gonna play tomorrow. All right, let's try it again tomorrow.
You should get the chance if any of your pitchers golf. You should, anytime you say bad outing, you get to take a club of your choice, and they can't play with it until you give it back.
Oh, dude, we have some pitchers that are unbelievable at golf.
I'm
like
sure.
Scratch golfers.
What else do you do on your off days?
Yeah,
Will Mabry, I see him all the time golfing.
So he plays a lot. I don't know. I've never golfed with him, so I don't know if he's great. I just know that he literally plays all the time.
Yeah, that's like all of his Instagram stories.
All he does. All he does is play golf. And he did the same thing when he was here too.
Yeah. Well, that's what Drew Beam told us. He was like, I mean, we can't like throw football or anything, so everybody just plays golf.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, Mapes is definitely probably getting better. Like, when you play that much, it's kind of hard not to get better.
Right.
But at least he has a hobby that he's enjoying, like something to get away from the game. That's one thing they tell you when you get into pro ball is like have something to take your mind off of the game of baseball, like get away. Very expensive hobby to have. But I think he's good for it. So
yeah. He's doing all right.
Let's balance it out.
Yeah.
Did you get to participate in the snow football game? Were you on campus?
I am.
Oh, you're.
I am one who when I was growing up, I was not allowed to wear shorts unless it was 70 degrees outside. And so when I saw one of them walk out there shirtless in the snow, I said that's probably not a good idea. That's fair. So I refrained from doing that.
Okay.
Because it just sounds like an injury waiting to happen.
Yeah, as much fun as it looked like, there was also, hey guys, see, if it snowed in September, different story. Get out there.
Even I was like, please don't fall. Please don't get hurt.
You got Blake Burke throwing bombs in the outfield. Like, oh my gosh, just get that clean.
Yeah, there's our All-Americans playing quarterback.
Yeah. I think Drew Beam threw somebody into a wall like it was arena football. And I was like, oh gosh.
Please just throw the baseball.
Is Tony getting soft? I heard for a while there were no footballs allowed, and then we see him out there playing. It looked like 30 versus 30.
I believe that no footballs rule, but I don't know where they got the football from. I'm sure one of them just brought it in. But I mean, the university was
probably
shut down,
Shank Pun over there.
Yeah, they probably coordinated that in the group message, like somebody bring a football to practice today.
I've been tweeting, let the boys play for a while. They've been wanting it. And all it took was 10 inches of snow, apparently.
Yeah, and they're just out there just goofing around, don't care. Nobody got hurt, so hey, more power to them.
Yeah, that would have been tragic.
Super.
Yeah.
And with this fan base, there would have been people calling for Tony's job. There would have been 100%.
I don't even know if he was there. Like, I don't even know if he's in the vicinity of what was going on. But he probably would have just looked at it and laughed and be like, these guys are a bunch of idiots. But he's also like one of those coaches. He's like, he's gonna let you play until you mess up, and it's like, told you.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things you like about V is like he's gonna let you be you, and those guys are all, that's just what they wanted to do, so they do it, and that's a very close knit group of guys. Being around them for a little bit, like it's a very close knit group of guys. I think it's a lot different than maybe what the group was last year in terms of just like a chemistry standpoint. I don't know if they're closer than what the group was last year, but it definitely feels like when they come to the field every day, because I'm always there when they get there working out. Like it's definitely a different vibe walking around with those guys, and it's pretty cool to see. I enjoy seeing it every day.
So how often are you around those guys?
I'm around them until they start practice every day.
Okay.
And so I get to the field at like 8, and they usually start practice like 1:30 with like voluntary early hitting, and so I'm around them pretty much all day.
Gotcha.
All their prep, everything they do, like I'm around, out of their way, but I'm around them, and every now and then I'll take BP with them and goof around with those guys. But I'm not in the locker room, but I'm around those guys when they're interacting with each other for literally the whole day.
I love when guys like are around the program like after the fact, like guys like, Trey Smith. Anytime like he can plug Tennessee, he's plugging Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. So, what's that kind of been like for you? And are you the only one that's like you train here in the off season? Is there other guys that do the same?
Oh yeah, I mean Trey Lipscomb was here for a majority of it. I think he's coming back sometime this week.
Okay.
Garrett Stallings leaves tomorrow. Actually, just through his last live today.
He's going to spring training.
Yep, going to big league camp. Going to
Yep.
big league camp. And so I'm the biggest Garrett Stallings fan. So like that guy deserves, all of it. And Cortland Lawson has been here all off season. Mabry's here. Lane Thomas didn't go here. He's committed to go here, but he's around. And then Senzel trains here as well. So, we got a really good group of guys that come in every day. And Rucker, both Ruckers, Jake Rucker and his brother,
Carson,
is here as well.
Tough one.
Yeah. Oh, he hears it every day. But yeah, they both train here as well. So I'm probably forgetting one or two. Chase Wallace, he's here too. So like we got a really good group of guys that are here every day, and it's grown obviously throughout. The more guys, Ben Joyce, Zach Joyce, they pop in. So it's like everybody will pop in every now and then, back in them, and so it's like it's not.
Is that encouraged? Or
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's definitely. I wouldn't say V's like, oh, like please do it. He's like, hey, if you want to come back, come back. I think it's a great place to play, and Q actually trains me in the off season.
This is like your home, like in the off season.
Oh yeah, I live here.
Okay.
And so Q actually trains me, so makes all of my weight program stuff, everything like that, and he's the one that gets me ready for spring training. And I told you earlier, I have a hitting coach in Atlanta, so I'll travel to Atlanta, and on the weekends and hit in Atlanta, and then drive back up for the week, and then spend the week with Q doing that. But he's very open to guys coming to him and saying, hey, like, will you train me just like you did here? Because obviously he's very good at what he does.
Sure.
And he's very open to just letting guys work out too. And we have guys that'll pop in all the time too. Like big leaguers that know Lane will like pop in and throw a bullpen, or like we had Ryan Helsley here last year for a little bit. Kumar would come in. And guys just pop in because like this place, everybody knows about this place now. It's not a secret anymore in our facilities.
I don't know what I think about that.
Yeah.
Is he orange now too? Do we convert?
Kumar?
Him? Yeah.
No.
He was just thinking of being called a boy.
Yeah.
He wants to be a man.
But he's a great dude, and it's a lot of fun to watch that guy go about his business too, because you see a guy like with that much. He was the Paul Skeens of 2019, 2020 of my year. So it's like, I would love to see him and Paul Skeens go against each other too. But see a guy like that, how he handles it and goes about his work too. It's important for people to see that. But yeah, man, I mean, a lot of people come back, and it's cool to have a lot of people come back.
Is that? And you may not know this, but you probably have a good sense of it. Is that normal? I'm sure that bigger programs, because of their facilities, but
I
know
think
if that's
so.
normal?
I don't know for a fact. I know Heston goes to work out at Arkansas, Heston Kerstad, every now and then, and he might live out there. But I don't know. Trey Morgan goes back to LSU a little bit. I see it on his story. I wouldn't say it's as normal as people think.
You got to have people at the next level, I guess. Number one.
Yeah.
So
and
that
I don't
helps.
know how many coaches encourage it either, because
Right.
there are a lot of coaches that wouldn't want guys to get in the way of their practice.
Yeah.
And V's like the complete opposite. He's like, you want to practice with us today? But it's like, I don't know how other schools kind of handle that. Like, especially schools like Florida, where like, I don't know how their coach operates, but I haven't heard great things about him. So it's like, and it's a lot about wanting to go back. I know a lot of guys that play college baseball that don't like their coach. You know what I'm saying? So like guys don't want to go back there. They just rather, live somewhere else and train somewhere else. I love V. I see V every day. I'm like, hey man, like it's like the first time I've ever seen him. So it's like, I really enjoy being around my coach from college. So I don't know if other guys can relate to that. And I know a lot of guys from LSU feel that way about their coach. So I'm sure there are a lot of guys that go there just don't publicize it,
Right.
and they work out there. I know Paul's been back there a couple times, so it's like I wouldn't say it's
Livy's still there, so
yeah. He's got to go back to see her, I guess. I wouldn't say it's normalized. Vandy, I know Vandy has a couple guys because their facilities are really really nice at Vandy, and our facilities are just nowadays our facilities are just as good as
Yeah, and
anybody's.
they're getting better right now too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it looks incredible. Too.
Yeah.
I don't know
What-
if you guys have seen it?
I've seen some pictures. Did they plan for it to be ready for? Like,
It is. It
2
has
weeks
to,
from now?
It has to be ready for opening day.
That's okay. I kind of figured that.
Well,
with-
2 weeks.
yeah.
So they go on the road to start there.
Yeah, but is it
Well,
the 16th though? Is a home game, right?
Is it the
16th?
No, that's
Oh,
in
okay.
Houston.
Then it's okay. The following week's
Yeah,
the
following week.
okay.
Yeah, so they have a midweek. They open up with a midweek,
Oh, okay.
Here.
That's what it is. Yeah, I was looking today.
but they're putting the seats in right now.
Okay.
The actual seats where the stadium's being built, and it looks incredible.
Yeah, they look close the other day, but I was still like, I mean, this
They have
is
seats on the field.
we're borderline.
Oh, really?
We're borderline like bench warmers in it. Like they're.
Oh, it's going to be
like-
close. It's definitely going to be tight, and the snow did not help.
Oh yeah, I didn't
It's
think about
definitely going to be
that.
tight. But yeah, like I mean, they have seats legitimately on the field.
They're gonna have Tony out there in a hard hat
Oh yeah,
having to.
he would.
I'm sure he would.
He would.
I think he might. I think there's some psycho elements to him.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
trust me.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I was
Nice.
excited to ask him about his pop up time because he is the fastest person getting out of the dugout I've ever seen.
No, I mean, he definitely brags about his agility and his athleticism often. He does it often. He will be the first to tell you that he was not a great baseball player, but he will compete with you in whatever. One year he wanted to run our conditioning test with us. We're like, why do you want to do that? Like,
Yeah.
we don't want to do it.
Psycho behavior. You know what? I'll kill myself for this.
Yeah, and dude, like I said, I think I've said it before, if not here on somewhere else, like we'd have a 6 a.m. lift and he'd be in there at 5:30 jumping rope. Like we'd get in there and stretch. He's in there on the treadmill or doing pull-ups. And it's just like, yeah, I'm going to beat you, period.
Yeah.
and I
Can he
think-
do more pull ups than you?
No chance.
Has there been anyone that? And there's probably been a few guys, but kind of like go after him on that stuff.
Oh, I
Like,
bet.
has anyone
Oh,
showed
Evan
up like?
Russell.
I
Oh,
bet.
Evan Russell.
Yeah, I was gonna say just like one day show up at 5 a.m. like waiting outside his office for him or something.
See, the thing is, when I first got a Whoop that would track my recovery, he first got a Whoop. And so we would just go back and forth about stuff like that. And I would ask him to lift in the morning my junior year because I wanted to just like when practice came, I just wanted to practice.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind. I woke up early anyway, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna go morning lift. And I would always get there and just send him a picture and be like, "Where you at?"
And then the next day he was there before you.
Oh, yeah.
He tried to beat you.
Oh yeah, and he would always respond with some smart comment like, "It's recruiting." Like, I'm out trying to make us better. I don't know what you're doing.
I would just take.
I'm out here winning.
Yeah, doing something to help the program.
Yeah. Every time I like flew, I just take a bunch of pictures and send it to you. Be like, I'm landing right now. I was in Atlanta recruiting tonight.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I took the
couldn't be
red
there.
eye.
Yeah. No excuses.
So the last time we had you on, we talked about you gave us a name, and it turned out to be spot on in Dylan Dryling.
Yeah.
Do you have anybody this year that you just want to throw? Because we've heard a lot of guys, but I'm like, I'm just gonna wait till we have Connor on the show so
Yeah.
I can just go off that.
Reese Chapman's a big one for me. Big fan of that kid, just as a baseball player, as a kid too. Big fan of that guy.
He's bulked up a little bit.
Yep, he is a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And he just has this like serial killer voice to him. That's just monotone, just like no emotion to him. And I literally like get afraid talking to him. I'm like, dude, do you want to like kill me? Like,
You want to talk about it?
but he's a great kid, and we've obviously like we've hit together. We've done a lot of stuff, and so I can really see him making that jump. And we were in communication a lot throughout all of last year, just because he was new to the SEC, and I would always text him and be like, hey man, like just make sure you're ready. Just make sure that you never know when someone gets hurt and when your opportunity is going to come. And I was making sure that he was ready because I knew that he was going to be the guy. And then another one, you guys probably already know him, but like Kavaris Tears, man, huge fan of Kavaris, dude.
Huge.
It's a monster.
Yeah, I could have stopped it. Huge.
Yeah. And so I'm a big fan of that guy and the way that he works. And I think him and Reese will fight for the same spot on the field and just interchange either like being a DH or playing on the field. And that's a great problem to have. Like we've always had a great problem of having really good players. And so that's another dude where I'm like, yeah, he's gonna be really good. And obviously Cannon Peoples, man, that's my guy. If I'm gonna bet on anybody to have a good year, it's gonna be that guy.
No,
I mean, those are good.
bias.
No.
We will get back to more Connor Pavoloni here in just a second. But before we do that, I want to tell you guys about a great friend. I don't know if you all are like me, but the mornings are tough. I want to stay in my warm bed, or I want to get the day over with. Not anymore. When I wake up and I smell that coffee that's on the pot, not just any coffee. I want to tell you guys about Grade A Grounds. They're a local coffee roasting company in Kingsport, Tennessee. They're owned by 2 educators, and they want to support local community and students. So not only are you getting that morning jolt, that excellent coffee, but you're also supporting local classrooms, local students, local educators. It is a great, great opportunity to win-win. Help yourself, help the community. We love it. We love the vision that Grade A Grounds has. And guys, right now I'm on the Blueberry. B is for Blueberry. I love the artwork that comes with it. It's an awesome, awesome company that is first off doing great things with coffee, but doing great things and giving back to the community. Every sale, 5% is going to go to Coalition for Kids in the Tri-Cities area. But we want to help expand. We want to not only be able to get Grade A Grounds coffee to everyone here in East Tennessee, or if you're from farther away, I know we got some Chris and Milan. Like let's get some Grade A Grounds out there. We want to see not only coffee get into West Tennessee, but also we want to benefit the West Tennessee community here soon. If you guys know educators, you know oftentimes they're paying for supplies out of pocket. Help Landon's bank account is drained. Guys, we want to give back to those educators. 5% of each purchase that you make of Grade A Grounds coffee, 5% is going to go getting necessary supplies for students and teachers there in those Coalition for Kids classrooms. You all saw this wonderful artwork. That's another great thing they do. This artwork done by students at the direction of these art teachers will be on your coffee bag. You also get to select, so you can change it up each time you go to purchase. Medium roast is great. I didn't know how much I love the Blueberry. It's fantastic. So don't dread those mornings. Guys, I look forward to mornings now. Shout out to Grade A Coffee. Get us going. Love them. Make sure you guys go follow them on all their social medias and go ahead and get your first bag today, or your K-Cups, whatever you need to get you going. Go do it today. Back to more Connor Pavoloni. Shout out to Grade A Grounds.
It's so much fun and so nerve-wracking watching those games. And I was in the middle of my rehab, watching those games, and it was like, dude, I'm in the hotel room screaming at my television, like, dude, this is, and I loved it. And that honestly was the turning point of the season.
Yeah,
if you really think about it, the Griffin Merritt walk off that game.
Yeah.
And then what else people don't realize, Kavaris homered that game too.
Yeah.
Right after Dreiling did.
I think you put a hole in the batter's eye.
Yeah.
That's one of those balls that, especially if it's hit higher, it never lands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, just tattooed it. So I'm glad you mentioned watching them scream at the TV. We actually had Khalil McKenzie on a few weeks ago, talked about the transition and kind of being a fan, which you're around the program a lot. So you still have that balance but guys, especially that aren't around it, they're looking at guys in the same position as them that they were in a few years ago. And they're saying, we talked about the crazy fans. They turn into kind of those crazy fans for a minute. Have you had that moment where you're just like, you let a guy have it? You're, in front of the TV where you're like, what are you thinking?
You never say this to your face.
Yeah.
Dude, I wish I could sit here and say I have, but I think a great thing I kind of understand is just how hard it is to do this, man. I think that was really cool about, and what I tell everybody else when I've been asked that question before, and they're like, oh, being a fan is so different because you're always yelling at people, and I'm like, I just don't ever do that, bro. I understand exactly. I've failed at this game so much, man, especially in my professional career, and so I understand how hard it is and exactly what it's like to do that. So no, because I've not only have I been there, but I understand what it's like to fail in that spot. So I failed in almost every spot that you could think of, dude. We're playing a super regional at LSU, and I throw a ball in a left field. I promise you, I've failed in a lot of spots to where it's all right, dude, you can't really blame somebody because it's not like I know these guys don't go out there to
right.
fail. And that's why I get so angry at fans that are and the first time I've ever tweeted at a fan was last year after the Vanderbilt game. And it's like,
Did you just have receipts for him after it?
oh yeah, oh yeah. As soon as
I love that.
as soon as we walked off, we walked Vandy off. I remember I was watching the Vandy game in Baltimore. I had a doctor's appointment the next day. In Baltimore, I had my post-op appointment, and he had tweeted during the 8th inning when Vanderbilt took the lead again that this team's just not good. So something along those lines. This team's not good. Like, we're never gonna get out of this, whatever. And then Griffin Merritt hit the walk-off. And I was just like, let's go. Like, I knew it. As soon as he hit that walk-off, I was like, I know exactly what I'm about to do.
Yeah. Ready for it.
And it's hard, man. Like, this game is so humbling and just so hard that you can't tell people, like, oh, like, unless you can do it. And the thing I've always understood is, like, if other people can do it or have been in that spot, then they're not saying anything to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't want to take advice from somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, and people who do know what they're doing won't criticize you because they've been in that spot. They understand what it's like. They're empathetic to somebody who's doing that. And V knows that too.
Well, even, and like, especially just when it's emotional, because especially if like football Saturdays, like, I unfortunately poured my entire life.
Oh yeah.
Last year I went to work the Friday after we got knocked out by FAU in March Madness, and someone was like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I didn't sleep at all last night. I was like, I thought I'll let Tennessee stop affecting my emotional state. I didn't go to bed. Like, I was so mad I couldn't sleep. So sad. I wasn't just mad. I was very just sad at the way the season ended. So I'm not saying you need to tweet at somebody, but I just one time, just like a guy swings at a ball in the dirt and you're just like, what the are you doing? Just one time. Just get a little mad.
Or just like a base running mistake, which did happen a lot. And I think I texted either you or Mike one time, and I was like, dude, at this base run.
Okay, that's good. That's good. We're getting there. All right,
yeah, you're texting a buddy. That's what Danny White wanted you to do anyway.
Not calling any players out in specific, just like the state of the base running. Like,
you just blamed. It's somehow Ross Kimmel.
Have a clue.
Like, oh, Ross.
Is he still on? Like, what is he doing?
Oh, dude. What?
Did you get invited to his wedding?
I did not. I know of one former player who got invited. It was Max Bird, who was there. And so it was probably a pretty small wedding. I'm assuming, but
tight list.
If I did get invited, I would go, man.
I called him out. I was like, hey, thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
And he was like, he did say small venue.
Yeah. No, he's and at the end of the day, man, like, I'll always have he still hits me up every now and then from a recruiting standpoint. Like, if he's looking at a guy, like, I'll look at stuff, and I always try to reach out to him if I ever see something Cleveland Browns related. He's always the first person I text.
God, anything Michigan, he texts me. If I tweet, like,
him and Landon borderline aren't friends anymore after this fall.
Yeah, just because, like, anytime Michigan beat somebody, he'd be like, "Hey, did you see that? Did you see Michigan won the national championship?" Yes, Ross.
Yeah, no, he's one of the best ever, man. I love that guy. Huge fan of that guy. Fan of that guy.
Yeah.
I don't accept the small venue. He's getting paid now. If he was volunteer,
he is getting paid.
I would accept it.
He is getting paid now.
This man's living in Houston. Like, what are we doing?
Yep, getting paid. Good for him, man. Good for him. He's living on PB&J's for a while.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he's getting what he deserves at this point. If we get the third paid assistant, I don't know if it got approved yet. I think it did.
Yeah.
I would love to see him come back, man.
Oh, I know.
I'd love to see it.
My favorite video, and
he's still a VFL.
Yeah.
I don't think he saw it when everything went down with the NCAA when it was announced and that investigation stuff. I just tweeted out a link and I was like, hey, I've got a ton of information on the Tennessee Nico thing, NCAA. Like, follow this link. And it was just Ross Kibbett yelling from the dugout in Omaha. I was like, it's my favorite video ever. I'll use it any chance I get. And it's just like I had the point where he's like, you just losing it on him.
I love that.
Yeah, he got every umpire there. Like, he earned his. He's like, if I'm gonna get thrown out, I'm earning this.
Yeah,
let's go.
No, got every bit of it. I loved it.
During the Michigan cheating with the Connor Stallion stuff, he texted me probably every day because there would be something that I would tweet about it, and he'd be like, "You're wrong. You're wrong." He'd be like, "It doesn't matter if they win a national championship."
He's gonna hire Connor Stallions at Houston. Yeah. He's gonna get him on staff.
Dude, I'm big. He's also hilarious, just as a guy. And, but yeah, no, I love that guy. Hope he's doing well.
Yeah, he's great to. I mean, that's one of the most upsetting things about him leaving Knoxville. It's hard to get him on the podcast now. We don't.
If I called him right now, he would answer.
Oh yeah, he would definitely answer. If he's not at practice,
who answers first? Who does he answer?
He probably answers.
But you call him. Let's see if he picks up, and then if he doesn't,
he's probably.
What time is it there?
Small venue.
Oh, it's 6:30. He's probably still at practice.
Is he?
Right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't do it.
Yeah. It's too close to season. We don't want to interrupt. You
Yeah,
know.
he's probably a giant ball of stress right now. He's got to coach third base. He's got a lot of things to worry about going on right now.
Yeah, he's got to worry about those home runs and those handshakes.
Yeah, exactly. He's got to remember on top of remembering the signs. But yeah, man, he's a big fan of that guy.
What have you seen with this team, like pitching wise? Because I think that's probably the biggest question mark of like who is it going to be? Not really talent wise. There's tons of depth and talent on this team. You got guys like Drew Beam, Kirby, Xander who have been here for a while, but a lot of newcomers. What have you seen from the pitchers?
A ton of them. A ton of newcomers. Just a lot of good stuff. Like a lot of diverse stuff from guys that we're like, yeah, you have your Chase Burns and your Chase Dolanders who both throw hard. They throw electric heaters and have really good sliders. I actually saw a video of Burns the other day. He got like 18 whiffs in a game in one of his scrimmages, which is beside the point. He doesn't go here anymore. But
what Wake Forest can't hit. That's why.
Projected like second overall pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're gonna have your guys like Beam, who, if I had to guess, would be the Friday guy at this very point in time. And it's insane to me how he's so low on some draft rankings. Because dude, if you look at his numbers, he's one of the best that's done it here.
I mean, he's
in a long time.
He's steady Eddie. Like,
yeah.
I mean, he doesn't
exactly
have,
what you're gonna get. Like,
I mean, yeah, he didn't have the Dolander hype. He didn't have the Burns hype, but he's just done it consistently since he's
every time he's gone out there. And then you got AJ Russell too, who's gonna be really good. You got Combs, who's also gonna be really good out of the pen. Like, you have your guys like Xander and I'm blanking on his name right now from Wichita State. Sneed. He was throwing 100 miles an hour, dude. It's like in the snow.
He's just a sophomore too.
Yeah, so it's like, yes, I think it's not going to be where we have to score 3 runs to win a game. I don't think that's how it's going to be. I think we now have such a dynamic offense that we're going to score 8 runs a game.
Yeah,
and our pitching is just going to be what it is. And I don't think our pitching is going to lose us games.
Right.
But I think it will win us games to a point where like the offense might not be there, but I think Drew Beam will show up on a Friday night every time he goes out there.
Yeah.
And I think V's always made the right call from a pitching perspective. Everybody wants to moan about Chase Burns going to the pen, but that was the best thing that could have happened to him last year.
That was
no matter what anybody wants to say, that was the best thing that could have happened to him last year. And I think he would tell you that too.
Yeah, I think it's pretty rare too in any sport where you see a transition like that, where a lot of people would say getting demoted, whatever, getting benched, where you see a move like that benefit both the athlete and the team in the most tremendous way possible. Like that was
they don't go to Omaha if that move.
No, absolutely not. And
absolutely not.
And I mean, Chase Burns kind of regained some of that hype that everyone kind of said, all right, he's not who we thought he was at that point. I mean,
first round stuff, just not putting it together.
Yeah.
And then he goes to the pen and starts putting up numbers like, dang, this guy's good.
Turns into a different level of the cycle.
He's going to be a Friday guy at Wake. And I mean,
dude, that's just an all-time gift of him going nuts. And
oh, dude, it's awesome.
That's
just can't even use it anymore.
Can't use it anymore.
Blackout rage.
Can't even use it
I
anymore.
think that's yes, I'd like for him to be on this team, but I think that's the most disappointing part is I can't use that gift I made.
Dude, that was pretty electric. He definitely doesn't remember doing that though.
No chance.
No
chance.
But I probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's I'm blanking on his name now. Bearded dude from Virginia that is with D1 baseball now.
Donkey.
Yeah.
Shock. Steven Shock.
Yeah. Everybody you're talking about. People who were tweeting that have never been there. He's like, have you thrown 101 miles per hour? If you haven't, shut up. Everyone's like, act like you've been there. Not many people have.
No. And he's so funny, man. The year we went to Omaha was the year of his Dippin' Dots interview, dude. It was hilarious. I watched that probably 3 or 4 times. But he also provides that kind of perspective where it's like, hey, he was good enough to pitch in Omaha and he did it, but he also understands that, like, hey man, if you can't do it, don't talk about it.
Right.
Either cheer him on or don't say anything. And that's why I never understand, man. It's like, it's so easy to just not say anything.
Right.
It's so easy. Just text your friend.
Yeah.
Like it's so
be angry
easy.
at home. No one will even know you're angry.
Nobody's gonna even know you're mad.
And no one will know your crappy opinion, which is probably the best part.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, like when we lost in Omaha, some of the DMs I got were insane. Insane. I wish I still had him.
Okay.
I'd show him to you.
This is a half glass full mentality for sure. But like 5, 10 years, well, 5, we're getting into Tony Vitello talking 5 years ago now. 10 years ago, people wouldn't even know guys that played on the team. So at least now, you're getting death threats. Now, I mean, you're borderline SEC football now.
Yeah, dude, it's
Like that.
Is this
So I
what
mean,
it's
half glass
like, you
full.
know?
Yeah.
I mean,
I've made it.
yeah, dude, but we actually have a kid, the catcher from Texas, is on my AA team this past year. Silas, great guy. But we just talk about that all. I can't make a joke about Texas anymore, because they beat us in Omaha. I literally can't clown him anymore about anything.
Do you ever do like horns down or
Can't.
anything?
I mean, like you didn't even beat us. Why are you doing that? Like it's. But
think
they're going
he
to come to the
gets
SEC and they're going to see that horns down a lot.
Oh, dude. I mean,
don't even
that
feel
should
bad
be
for
the
him.
least of their worries.
Yeah, and I don't feel bad for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just tough because I can't even joke around with him anymore because it's over before it even starts. It's like I can't even make it when I'm truly joking.
He
It's
has
just like
that.
you literally lost to us. Like, you cannot say anything to me.
I appreciate that you just shut up after that. Most people will find a
There's
new
nothing-
way to spin it. You're
Nothing
just like,
else.
no, we lost. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just
That's
go
it.
like clown our hitting coach or something.
Yeah.
He went to Florida State. So
Okay. Perfect. Speaking of that, did you see that? I was telling him 11.7 tweeted out the video of Jameis throwing his freshman year.
Oh yeah, like
Throwing
95,
97, 98.
Yeah.
He was probably with the team like 3 weeks before the season started.
Mhm.
I'm like, you should have played baseball. You could have done plenty of weird stuff, weird workouts. No one would even know.
You're right.
Dubs on
Probably
the mound.
celebrated.
Yeah. He would have never probably gotten crab legs, but that's
Probably celebrated in base. I saw someone tweet one time that the stuff that Russell Wilson does is only criticized because it's done in football. Like if that guy did that stuff in baseball, everybody would be like, "This is the greatest mental game I've ever seen." Like the way he goes about it. Like, and I was like,
Baseball
"Yeah,
players
you're
are allowed to
probably-
be weird.
Yeah, you're probably right."
there may be a limit though. You've seen a couple pitchers come under scrutiny lately with the weird stuff they do. Max
Yeah.
Scherzer, he's been is he at a graduation doing long toss? Is that what it is?
I would not doubt it.
It's like the middle of a graduation. He's in the outfield. Which I don't know why there's a graduation on the Nationals field. But,
Actually, that's kind of sick.
I mean, it is, but
I believe it.
and then you've got, I mean, Trevor Bauer had more than just his weirdness that came, but a bunch of his weird stuff
Which
got
is just a tough
criticized.
situation. It's a whole nother podcast.
It's yeah, for real. It's also tough though. Baseball, you're in the dead of sports. So what else are you gonna talk about than a pitcher being weird?
Yeah,
That's all you got.
and that's
Stephen
what
A.
makes it fun.
Smith's gonna lose his mind about some warm up routine.
Yeah, yeah, that's what makes it fun.
I don't think I have anything else that I really got to nail. We can just.
I was going to
You're
ask
looking at me like I
about
need to
the catchers too, because I mean that's definitely close to your heart. It definitely seems like this staff has done a good job of not wanting to be in that position where they have 2 catchers and that's it.
Hmm.
Like Dalton Bargo, Cannon Peebles, they have Stone Lawless, Charlie, Cal. I mean, they have a whole bunch of guys that can play that position.
Yeah, they got a ton of them. Obviously, I think Cannon is my vote for the guy. And everybody knows I'm the biggest Chuck Taylor fan in the country.
Yeah.
The president of the Charlie Taylor thing. But I truly think Cannon Peebles is going to be a first-round pick.
Wow.
And I think he's going to be light years better than any catcher that's come through here in a very long time. Truly. Like, I think he's going to be very special as a switch hitting catcher who hits well from both sides. I've asked multiple people what side he's better from, and they literally just don't know. And so I think that kid is going to be extraordinary if he can handle the SEC, not just the SEC, but just like everything that's going to come with it. And so I'm excited for him. I think he's going to have a great year. And, we've done a lot of work together, catching wise and hitting wise, and just being around him and just kind of seeing how he goes about it. He's got a great head on his shoulders. His mental game is really good. He's a lot like me when it comes to like just being a little psycho at times and just getting really mad and being super negative. And so him and I can kind of relate in that aspect. But I think he's going to be an unreal leader. And I think he's going to kind of be the guy that you see where he hasn't been here for 3 years, but he's going to be the Drew Gilbert and just kind of lead the guys. Obviously nobody's going to be as good as Drew at doing that, or as good as, Russell at doing that. But I think he's going to be that vocal guy. That's going to kind of lead these guys to go where they need to go. And so I'm excited to see it, but I'm also excited to see guys like Cal and Chuck and Bargo and Stone too. I mean, 80 grade name, Stone Lawless. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah,
Right,
dude.
Cannon.
Yeah, Cannon people like, dude.
Catcher name. You were born to be a catcher,
dude.
You have to be good.
The all name team, like these guys are all over it, and so I'm excited to see. And even if they don't go back, like they go play first base in the midweek or something like that, because V loves doing that. He's just gonna throw guys wherever. But I think Cannon's gonna be the guy, and I think Cannon's going to be the guy, in, not just at Tennessee, but like in college baseball. And I really think that. I don't know anything about any other catcher in the country. From what I saw, what I heard the other day was the #1 ranked catcher in college has not caught an inning in college because he goes to Virginia.
Oh.
And that's obviously where Kyle Teal went.
Mm-hmm.
First round pick and unbelievable player. Probably gonna be big. I would not be shocked if he was a big leaguer this year. But I just don't see how you can kind of. And I'm not saying Cannon should be #1. Don't get me wrong, because I've seen that. That guy hasn't caught very much in college either. If you look at his track record at NC State, but he's done it at the plate, and he's really done it for a catcher. Obviously, and I've tried to express this to him. He's a really good hitter, but he has to understand that there will be times where his hitting will not be there, but he has to be able to catch. Yeah. Because if he cannot catch, he will just be a DH. And so that was one of the things with me, I think that I take a lot of pride in, is the fact that I can really catch, that I can really lead a pitching staff, that I can really calm guys down, that I can really, understand the game and be a catcher. And I think he does that very well. But he hasn't done it in college at this level yet, a lot. And so what I'm trying to tell him is like, hey man, like you got to take care of your body. You can't go and work for 4 hours a day. He's a workhorse, dude. All he wants to do is work, which is great. Mm-hmm. But like, you can't do that when you're about to catch 65 games if you guys are going to go to Omaha.
Yeah.
And it's a great, like I said, great problem to have. Yeah. I love the fact that he's doing it. But I'm just trying to like show him that, hey man, I've been through it. I've done it. I've caught a whole year. And it's tough, dude. It is a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And so I'm definitely excited to see it, and he's going to figure it out at some point, one way or the other. He's just a, blue collar grinder. He's going to figure it out. But I think he's going to be the best catcher in college baseball, to be honest with you.
You heard it here.
That would fire me up. Like, get me back to Omaha.
Yeah, I really do, and I wouldn't say that lightly, especially considering I was a catcher.
Mm-hmm.
And considering I know how very seriously we take, being a catcher here, how V values that and Frank values that. But I've seen some really good ones, man, and I think he's going to be really good.
Yeah, and really I think the good thing about that is, like you said, 65 games. I don't think you have to. Like, cool if he can.
Yeah.
But like, you have guys behind him where, like Cal did a lot. You mentioned Charlie Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Dalton Bargo has done it.
Yeah.
So you have guys behind him that, like, hey, if we're playing Tennessee Tech on a weekday,
let's pick another team.
That's true. That's true. That was the first one that popped in my head.
And they're a good team.
They're good.
Yeah,
they're good. And the year we go and play them at the Smoky Stadium, just like soul crushing. That was one where fans got fired up. They're like, why would he use wooden bats? It's like, in the grand scheme of things, who cares? This game doesn't matter.
About that win streak with the fans, dude.
Yeah,
like,
in the grand scheme of things, this game does not matter. But it was funny to see him fired up, and that game did hurt just because it was what, like 10,000, 11,000 people in that stadium. It was on local TV, which was pretty cool. Other than
Ben Joyce, yeah.
So it wasn't fun to lose, but
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, and I don't think Cannon will catch many midweeks. If anything, he'll probably DH them.
Yeah,
just like I did when I was here. But he just got to understand that when he's doing that, or if he has a Tuesday off, don't show up to the field at noon and try to get 3 hours of catching in before the game. Just don't do it. Just show up, hip, hip, hip.
Yeah, you don't need
put your turfs on and watch the game. And so
have your clean hat.
Literally, they get 3 sets of catcher's gear this year. I noticed that the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, dude.
How many do you get?
When I was here, we got 2, but they were orange and gray when I was here, and they got a I don't even know. They have a black set of catcher's gear.
There we go.
This year, and so I'm assuming they're going to rip that out with the black jerseys. I don't think that was supposed to be a secret, but if it was, sorry. I mean,
what are they going to do?
Literally, and so the gray. I've seen all the gear. It's so sick. See, Andre Lipschitz said this earlier today. The reason that we can't, as pros, get them anything anymore is because they literally get everything. There's nothing that we could buy them anymore.
That's like me with my wife.
You should just get them all like beta fish or something.
Dude,
like something
that like they don't have that we could get that. There's nothing that we could get him.
How do you guys feel about like a pet? What are those things called that we want? The fish? Axolotl. Get them all axolotls.
You know what that is?
No, no.
They're pretty sweet. They're like fish lizard things.
It's
They're
like
like
a
fish
salamander
with legs.
kind
It's
of
nuts.
thing.
Get him a fish tank for the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Somebody's definitely gonna break it.
We don't get them custom cleats anymore because they already get them. Can't get them custom Evo shields because they already get those. Arm sleeves, they get those. You know, so it's like, all right, well,
Is it Drew Gilbert that makes
stadium?
yeah. You guys want a new stadium? You're getting that.
Drew Gilbert? Is it him that made T-shirts when he was here? Just like random T-shirts.
The sweatshirts.
Yeah, just
That
make
was funny.
make the team random shirts, just like Pavoloni and I don't know someone else's
Mhm.
name, Charlie Taylor, and then your name under it, Pavoloni, for like 2024 or something.
Yeah,
Get some presidential campaign
some
shirts
stuff they
going.
can wear on the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't get that, surely.
Oh, they do. If they wanted it, they would get it. That's the prize. They get whatever they want, dude. It's
well, one
It's
year, I mean,
crazy.
Trey Liskin had to wear his entire uniform on the road. What was that about?
you talking about Kyle Booker?
Oh,
Kyle Booker.
yeah.
Wasn't Trey. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
was
that
thinking
was
it was-
funny. Oh, why did he have to
Didn't y'all
I
send out
thought,
like
it
a
was,
text?
I thought it
that
was
said-
jerseys, and he like wore his jersey.
Y'all said like jersey, like for travel or something.
No, he did something that he had to wear.
Oh, it was
that.
punishment.
Oh.
It's punishment.
I just don't remember what he did. I wish
I-
I wish I remember.
That's hilarious.
I like that he committed to it, and I mean he had
Oh.
everything on.
Full
owned it.
uniform.
Owned it with the mask on too. Like owned it. It was awesome. And obviously it was something where like that team. Was that COVID year? No, I think it was the year. It was the year after. wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was 21.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the closest team I've ever been on. It was so much, and he just embraced it. It was like, dude, we're not making fun of you. You got to do it. Like, you got to do it. And so yeah, it's. I wish I remember what he did, but it was definitely funny as to like why he had to do it. But yeah, and I love that went viral because the video didn't even point him out. It just had him in the video,
Yeah.
and then someone stopped it and was like, "Is this kid in full uniform?"
Dude, that's my
He's trying to get to the
favorite-
field.
That's my favorite meme. I use it all the time. This is how ready I am for baseball season.
Dude, yeah. It's awesome. I love it. And people in the airport stopping him and asking, like, you probably would know because we walk around with Tennessee bags on and we have Tennessee clothes on. But nobody would know what sport we played until they saw him in full baseball uniform. It was awesome.
That does
Are you
show
Drew
how just
Gilbert.
generally speaking, that shows I think how dumb the public is. Because I think if I look nothing like a athlete at all, but if I wore a full Tennessee baseball uniform, someone would stop me and ask
For
me,
sure.
You play baseball at Tennessee?
For sure.
And typically people wearing a full uniform in the airport don't play baseball at UT, but it just happened to that
Just
day.
happened to, yeah. And it was, dude, that was one of my better memories because usually we fly private. That was one of the very few times that we flew public. I don't even remember where we were going. I think it might have been Round Rock or no. Was that year? No, it was the year after. I don't remember where we were going, but it was one of the very few times that we actually like flew public.
So we need to tell Zerker get one commercial flight a year, so something like that can happen.
Something like that can happen.
Yeah.
I think it should be a tradition where one person like messes up, like that's their one punishment they have to do.
Yeah, wear the uniform to the
Wear
airport.
wear it to dinner or something.
Or like no one tells the one person that like, hey, we're gonna wear something completely different, and he gets that one text from Tony Vitello, just like, hey, you have to be sure to wear a full uniform to the airport tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it definitely needs to be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the fur coat? I don't know if you can.
I've
see
seen it.
that. Okay,
It's made an appearance.
still there.
I love that, and I don't hate the team at all for trying to like doing your own thing, like not
I
necessarily getting
applauded
away
them.
from it, moving on. But I also love that they said it's not working, bring it back.
Nope, bring it back, and then they brought it back, and there they go. You know, so
Back
this
to
year,
Omaha.
I don't know this for a fact. I haven't asked anybody about it, but I would be shocked if the fur coat didn't make an appearance.
As much as I love a team trying to do their own thing, I don't think you can. I don't think you can.
Do you know if it's the same one? Or have we?
Oh, definitely the same one. Yeah.
Okay, so
I don't even.
it's got probably a little stench to it.
Probably yeah.
Where does it stay at night?
in the
Somebody take it
in
home?
the locker room?
Okay.
yeah. In the
Is it
locker
locked
room.
away somewhere?
But
No, we got books in the locker room.
But
They just put it up
Bert takes it on the road with him,
Yep.
correct? Okay,
there. Yeah, Burke wears it on the road.
Seems fair.
so he's got to hand it off.
Yeah.
After
They
this
need to
year.
add something to it. If anything, just add to it. You know,
Yeah, like
don't-
Pike's the iron-on patches or something.
a
yeah.
cane or a
yeah,
crown, or
something like that.
Yeah.
You know, because there will be a lot of homers, especially with the way they're building the stadium. I think the air is going to be different.
Okay.
The balls are going to fly a little bit better.
So
A
that
little
wind,
bit
that, wind,
better?
that
Oh
wind's
my
not that wind's not going to
God.
push in as easy or something.
Oh my God, it's gonna be raining home runs.
Yeah. And so hopefully that's. I mean, dude, you ever been to Arkansas? I've never seen a ball fly like it does in Arkansas.
We're
Ever.
actually going to Fayetteville for football season, but we're gonna go to Fayetteville for.
Dude, that ball in Arkansas flies.
That's just the
Flies.
hogs. They're just calling the hogs.
Dude, that playing there is one of the craziest things I've ever done, dude. I have like 12-year-olds screaming obscenities at me in a stadium. And I'm like, isn't it past your bedtime? It's like the 7th inning. Like, go to bed.
Arkansas and A&M look like fun
A&M
environments.
Was a blast. It was a blast because A&M wasn't good.
That would make it.
They were not having a good year. And so the fans, like, they were excited if A&M was winning. And they were excited for the first couple innings until we started winning. And then it became like a fun atmosphere. It was really cool. I really enjoyed playing it.
I think that's probably honestly how it is when they're winning. That they are the nicest people on planet Earth.
Yeah,
I don't think
I heard
they
the same
can
about
be
Mississippi
mean.
State. I never played at Mississippi State, but I heard the same.
I went
They
there for
fed us after we.
That's what I heard.
Just annihilated.
I went to A&M for the football game in 16, and every person I met was just the nicest human being.
Yeah.
It was very strange. I was like, "This is SEC football, guys. You're gonna have to just dog cuss me one time. That's all I ask."
Florida,
Spit
not
on
so
me.
much.
Florida, yeah, you're not going to have a great interaction with
No.
Florida. My mom actually was not a fan of Florida. She traveled to a lot of the road games my junior year, but I don't think she came to a lot of the road games my freshman year. But Florida was one of them that she came to, and she just happened to be sitting behind somebody that was making fun of me while we were playing. And it's just like my mom is just not the person to have sitting behind you when that happens. And I hit a double or something, and she was telling me this story, and I was like, this is not gonna end well. She's just sitting up there waiting for me to like do something good,
So she could just throw
so
it
she
right
can
back
just
in their face.
and she was just telling me about it, and I'm like, hey mom, let's not do that anymore, okay? Because everybody knows that you're my mom. So let's just, and I have to tell her that about her Twitter account too. I'm like, mom,
Pat's mom on the back of her shirt.
yeah, you cannot tweet this at somebody. You just can't do it. If you're gonna do that, take me out of your profile picture.
Yeah.
You just cannot do it. And I love my mom.
You're gonna have to like create a burner account for her.
Yeah, and I love my mom. My mom is.
Oh yeah, that's a mom. That is a mom.
Just make her an account like Tony Vitello's beard or something,
Yeah.
and just let her go at people with it.
Yeah, there are times where she'll send me a tweet, and I have to a tweet or like an Instagram post, and I have to explain to her that is a troll account, and what they are tweeting.
Yeah.
Richard G. West was her kryptonite. He would tweet something, and she would send it to me. It didn't have to relate to baseball at all. She'd be like, "How could this happen?"
Yeah.
Like,
Is this real?
Mom, that guy. Yep, the profile picture and the biography all look real, but I promise you, he is not real.
Yeah.
I promise. She's like, "No, it's real. It's not real, Mom. It's not real. He is a troll. Like, he does not know what he's talking about. Talking her off the ledge about something that doesn't even involve her. It's just he's just so invested in Tennessee.
I get the same.
That's awesome.
I get the same thing. When the we tore down the field goal post, and then he like tweeted out some article about how Tennessee like is, with this company to try to pay for him. She's like, I cannot believe this, and I was like,
do I have a story for you?
That's good because it's not true.
She called me and told me this, and then I was like, that just is. Where did she hear that? And I called her back. I was like, hey, where did you see this? She's like, on Twitter. I was like who tweeted that? Richard G. West. I was like, you had me believing it.
Dude, it looked weird. It was, and most people like troll accounts have like this is a troll or a parody account in their bio because they're decent human beings. But that guy,
No.
that guy, no.
And
someone
what's
lost their job because of him, I believe.
really?
Like,
Yeah. Well, sort of.
yes.
Sort
I
of.
know the story, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if he brought light to it. If he did, that's crazy.
No, he did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay. What his original, like probably for the first few years, he'd always have like something at the end that was so absurd. You're like, fake. Like, I don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
Fake. But now he's like getting like, he's making jokes,
Well, he
but
gets in
getting
all these-
things right.
Yeah,
And it's getting weird.
Yeah,
You're like, all right,
people
now
are put him in articles and being like, oh, they got
The
got,
credit.
and then it turns out it's real.
Dude, it's
we're living in a strange world.
we are, dude, the
Social
world
media
nowadays,
is a
social media is
nightmare.
and AI, dude. We're going down a dark road, dude.
Oh, yeah.
There's potential for this to be brutal.
I think the best thing that Twitter X whatever did is the bookmarks.
Yeah.
Because that like
Well,
screenshots
I
last
used
forever.
to just DM tweets to myself.
Yes,
I used to
do that too.
I used to favorite stuff, and I didn't realize a lot of people think if you favorite it that you're liking it, but that's how I would bookmark stuff.
Yeah, because you can see your.
And I just like never thought about people
That's what
would
I do
go
on
to my
TikTok.
like page and they would see it, and I'm like,
what are you liking, Caleb?
yeah, and I'm like, oh god, like it's even just like some crazy opinion that I'm just like saved to come back to later, and I'm like, I don't agree with that at all. Don't mishear me, but yeah, it's at least Instagram. I mean, all these places don't show likes anymore, but Twitter's still about it. They don't care. They'll expose everybody.
Man, this has been awesome.
Dude, I've really enjoyed this. I think this has been one of the most just like casual conversation podcasts I've done yet, where we like really just chop it up. I've had times throughout this where I'm like, I really have to watch fights. Like I'm a little too comfortable on this couch right now.
Well, the good thing about like a lot of people are like, oh, you recorded it so you can like cut that. I'm like, yeah, we don't cut anything. We don't
We'll go back and cut stuff, but we would love not to. We'd
Yeah.
love just to let it go.
Yeah, and it's been awesome, dude. I've really enjoyed it, and I think, like I said, friend of the show, friend of Landon's, friend of yours. Like it's a great dynamic to be in here and really just talk it up.
Yeah,
And we appreciate it. It's fun doing it in person. These are, it's
Dude,
always good to
great.
get on
First
the computer.
podcast I've ever done in person.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
No, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
It's been awesome.
We'll get to a game. When did we try to go? See,
When I was in
you were
Asheville.
injured.
Yeah.
When I was in Asheville,
And
I was supposed to come back that
poor.
week.
Okay.
And then they pushed me back another week, but
Yeah.
we had talked about it, and I was.
We
supposed
got
to play
rained
that
out too.
Yo, I mean,
Yeah,
like we
rained
woke
out.
up that morning. We're like, it'll clear out. Like
Yeah.
the game will happen. We were sitting at a brewery. I don't know, like a couple blocks from the stadium.
Yeah.
Just watching it piss poor. We're like, yeah, no chance. This
No.
game happens tonight.
Yep, super tough. But hopefully, you guys can get to one soon. I mean,
Yeah.
Hopefully, I get to AAA. I could play like in Gwinnett or something, or even like AA. I could get to play in in a certain league. I get traded, or I get to play the Smokies or something like
Yeah.
that. Where
Heck yeah.
that'd be
Yeah, that'd be
so sick.
What's Chattanooga in?
They're
Are they in that?
Low A?
Yeah.
Okay.
Low A with the Reds, I believe. If I'm not mistaken.
I mean, I would assume they're in the same like division as the Smokies, but are they?
No, they're Low A and Smokies are
Okay.
AA.
Okay. That's right. Okay.
I don't know what Low A league they're in. But I know the Smokies are in like the South AA league with
Gotcha.
like the Braves AA is moving to Georgia. If you
Oh,
guys didn't
really?
know that. Yeah, from Mississippi.
The Mississippi.
Mississippi
Braves, that's right.
They're moving to Georgia. And so like there's a ton of AA teams down here, like Pensacola with the Marlins.
Mhm.
But there are way more AAA teams down here.
Right.
Where like Gwinnett is down there, Jacksonville, like
Who's Birmingham? I
I have no idea.
They're AA, right? But who are they affiliated with?
Are they not the White Sox?
Maybe.
Because
Oh.
isn't that where Michael Jordan?
I think you're right. The
Played?
Birmingham Barons.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd have to go.
I know they play in the Smokies because they play them all the time. The
Oh,
Barons, are they the Barons anymore? Who? Montgomery
the
Biscuits.
Montgomery Biscuits, yeah.
The Biscuits. And
That's
then
the
And
Rays.
the Trash Pandas.
Trash Pandas.
Crash Santa Rocket City, yeah. But yeah, hopefully you guys get to the game soon. I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully I'll play around here.
And
sometime soon.
you dealt with some injuries last year with your hand.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
good, healthy.
yeah. I mean, I broke my hamate last year. Just fourth game of the year, just super unfortunate. And then in surgery, he cut a little too deep into my hand and cut my ulnar nerve.
Oh,
and so
God.
I lost feeling in my hand for a couple
That's
months.
Terrifying.
Dude, that was brutal. It was brutal. But I had a great PT. And so like I was only out for like 3 months till I got feeling back and then coming back. So I'm 100% now. Hopefully my one goal is just to make it through the whole year healthy and, see what the Lord has in store for me. So I'm fired up, man. I really am. I think it's going to be a great year, and whether it is or not, like
You're
just
playing
happy.
professional
I
baseball.
literally,
So.
man, like Cortland and I talk about it all the time, dude. Like my job is to wake up and go work out.
Yeah.
Mm,
And then I'm done for the day,
yeah.
So like even during the year, it's like, if you're not playing well, I wish I had this perspective, hopefully I do this year when I do struggle, because that's going to happen. But like, I just want to be grateful to do this. The Lord has called me to do this and, make sure I fulfill what I'm supposed to be doing, because very few people get to do this. My friends remind me of that all the time from home. Whenever I complain at them, it's like, dude, I would love to be playing professional baseball right now.
Right.
So just, take it for what it is and take every day, one day at a time. So I'm fired up, man.
I looked it up today. 0.5% of high school baseball players get drafted and play professionally. Like, that is insane.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's definitely a blessing, man. I'm super excited. And like I said, I mean, I'm super grateful to be here and getting to meet, if I never played at Tennessee, I'd never meet people like you guys.
Yeah.
So like, I think it's,
absolutely.
I've done a lot of great things in this game. So like, I'm super excited to just try to make it through a whole year healthy and, see where the chips fall.
Yeah. We'll keep in touch and, wish you the best of luck this
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks for coming on, and yeah, good luck this season, and Dude, we're gonna get to a game. I don't even know why I'm saying hopefully.
Yeah.
Like we'll make it work. We'll
We'll
schedule,
figure it
make it work.
We'll
Yeah.
figure it out. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
This has been truly a blast.
Yeah.
I've loved it. I've loved it.
Absolutely.
That was VFL, Baltimore Royal, friend of the pod, Tony Vitello's nemesis.
The catcher.
Is that the right? Yeah, is that the right word? Nemesis. I don't know if nemesis is the right word, but I liked hearing that. You know, he's willing to go toe to toe with him on stuff like getting to the facility.
Yeah, like
first.
a rival. You got a
Yeah.
little friendly rivalry going on.
Yeah, I like that. It's good. That's good stuff. That's competitiveness right there.
Yeah, and wish him so much luck.
Yeah,
This season. Hope he stays healthy. Number one, I know he's dealt with some injuries. That's kind of set him back. So hopefully he's able to just go into this season 100%, finish it the way that he wants to do, and meet all his goals along the way. So wish him nothing but success. And man, we're gonna do that again.
Yeah, I'm fired up for him this season. Like you said, he is healthy right now, and just hopefully that continues. I just had an idea too. You said we're gonna do it again next season. The man he shouldn't have told us he has an Airbnb paid for by the Baltimore Orioles. Shout out to the Players Association. I think we take a spring break trip to spring training, do an interview at spring training, and
I'm in. I mean, there's probably a couple.
I guess we can't put him
in that vicinity that we could probably do.
I don't know if we can swing getting him / the Orioles to put us up for a week, but we can try.
Yeah, sure. They'll never know. They might have drafted us in some like random round.
Right. That's right. 2018, I think I went in like the 58th round.
Yeah.
That's right. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah,
my agent still trying to get me to sign a contract. I won't do it. It's called inducement. I won't do it.
Yeah. I'm holding out to be a
NCAA.
starting quarterback somewhere. So
yeah. Speaking of the NCAA, I kind of been thinking about it because I still haven't looked in the TRO too much. I've honestly just been too busy and still don't quite understand. But I do think I think it's important to note, win or lose this legal battle that's right now on the forefront. This is the first of many times that the NCAA will be in court over the next few years. If the University of Tennessee right now is not involved, this is not going to be the last punch Donde Plowman throws. I mean, that's been noted by her.
she's just ready for another one.
The Tennessee legal team is racking up those billable hours right now, getting ready to throw something at the NCAA here if this doesn't work out in their favor for whatever reason. I don't know how the NCAA could possibly win this. Here's one thing I was thinking about going into and again, this is not legal expertise. This is just trying to make sense of the situation. Because I'm not a lawyer, I have no legal expertise. The issue at hand is the Sherman Antitrust Act. Spire, who's sure they run the Vol Club, like they are the body that does that. At the end of the day, they are a sports marketing agency. Their goal as a business is to sign clients, make those clients money, so in turn they make money. Not necessarily clients affiliated with the University of Tennessee. Sure, there is some crossover, but that's not their goal as a business.
Correct.
Spire. So if the NCAA is saying now that Nico would be eligible at any other school in the country except the University of Tennessee because he was signed by Spire, that doesn't sound like that would fly under the Sherman Act. That would be limiting a business's opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't I think there's I want to know what like kind of facts that they have. Is it just based off this plane Because if it's just this plane ride, I mean,
Well, and
what
that's
there's no way the NCAA goes into all this just for a plane ride, right?
I mean, I think I mentioned this right when it all kind of came down. I am kind of thinking now that maybe the NCAA got strong-handed a little bit in the last go around with Pruitt, where Danny White, Greg Sankey was in the room, flat out said, "We will not be taking a postseason ban. Don't even think about it. Here's what we're ready to offer. Postseason ban is off the table." And maybe got strong-armed into it a little bit, and now people are retribution, maybe. Like, that's my thought now. They see kind of an easy in with maybe what happened with the Nico stuff. But that's the thing. There hasn't even been a notice of allegations yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's another, while the lawsuit began with that, the state of Tennessee is not really involved in that specific scenario.
Yeah.
This is to cover all Tennessee athletes. This isn't related to Nico exactly.
Right.
Or not related is not the right word. This isn't like solely about Nico.
Mm-hmm. I just don't understand how you can. I mean, I guess you could deem the kid ineligible would be the only thing you could really do in this scenario, because they've mentioned that no UT employee has been named. So if it has nothing to do with the University of Tennessee, it just has to do with Spire and an athlete or some athletes with the University of Tennessee.
I don't know how you could lump the Vol Club into this if the Vol Club isn't involved. Even if it's Spire, I don't know how you could. That wouldn't seem.
I just think the only way is like to prevent Spire. So maybe the Vol Club just makes their own entity, or maybe you have a different location from Spire to like get the NCAA off your back. I just don't think that is.
Yeah, right. And part of it too boils down to the rule that Donde is talking about that was created after the fact. What she's talking about is that collectives after, I don't remember the exact timeline, but at least after the Nico signing, quote unquote, by Spire, collectives were deemed boosters.
Yeah.
And boosters cannot be involved with NIL with prospective players. I don't know what am I saying? But anyways, they can't be involved. Yeah. They can't be involved in that process at all. Mm-hmm. That is seen as inducement, whether inducement is a part of the contract. I don't agree with that, but that is part of the rule. But
it just seems like to me they're going after, if they're not going after the University of Tennessee per se, they're going after the athletes. That was their existence. Like they exist to like be there for the student athletes. And now it seems like their only thing is to punish the student athlete for having this right to NIL.
Right. I'm not saying the NCAA is not going after Tennessee. They very much are, the University of Tennessee. I'm saying right now, what we're seeing with the TRO and what's the hearing in Greenville, that is not University of Tennessee. That's the State of Tennessee Attorney General and the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The University of Tennessee has not really acted on anything other than those public statements.
Correct. Okay.
I just mean like we have not even, whatever happens.
We haven't even scratched the surface on what the first part of this is.
Right.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happens February 13th, it's not done in either direction. But let's say we get quote unquote bad news. The UT administration is going to war.
It's not over.
Yeah. So I'm not fretting it too much. Because I mean, the big thing that Plowman is hitting on is you cannot punish people for rules that were not in place. And a lot of people across the country are saying it's always been a rule that boosters can't induce students athletes to come to school. The problem is, prior to them saying that collectives are boosters, Spire would not have been considered a booster.
Yeah.
And I don't think they should still be considered a booster. But probably what you said, it should probably be its own entity, regardless of, I mean, probably just to kind of cover bases, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, you
a little
cannot
separation and probably do some good.
Yeah, you can't punish people for rules that weren't there. What are we gonna do? Go stand out on Tipton Station, change it to 35 miles an hour, and then go back and look at the cameras and ticket everybody that drove 45 through there?
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah. I would have a lot of tickets on Tipton Station.
Probably get them anyways.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. I'm innocent. Disavow people speeding. Yeah, I don't see how any of this will fly. And
it seems like everybody's on board with Tennessee and all this.
Yeah, I don't see how any of it will fly, but I don't understand why the judge denied the TRO. But I'm also trying to think of this logically. And I think if the NCAA tries to say Spire couldn't sign Nico, boom, like that's part of the antitrust, that everything's how we got NIL. Like the NCAA's lobbied to be free of the Sherman Act like the NFL is, and they've not won that. So I just don't see. I don't know what happens from here. I don't know who wins. I don't understand any of it. That's part of the problem. Also, I'm kind of working on a conspiracy where we know John Curry communicated with national reporters, was quote unquote friendly with them, maybe. Well, that's what they think. He was using you, by the way. Just want you to know that.
Yeah.
Who better, if you're Danny White, Landon, and you maybe want to make a public statement, but you can't make a public statement because you can't comment on the NCAA stuff because it's not public knowledge. So you don't want to just come out of the gate swinging at nothing, a ghost at that point. Who better to drop that story than Pat Forty, a universally hated journalist, especially by Vol fans?
Yeah.
So maybe you let him know what's going on, and then once he drops that story, then you get to make your statement. So now you're not swinging at some mythological being. You're swinging at the thing very much in front of you at that point.
Yeah.
I think it would be a genius move.
Yeah. I think a lot of this was a grudge that Tennessee got off a little easy with the Pruitt stuff, and that they thought they would kind of roll over again, and they would get to make an example out of Tennessee twice. They'd get to make an example on how you do it, and then they'd make an example on this is how we're going to, base our existence, and just this is why we exist, and give you a reason for that. And this is what will happen if you, whatever with NIL. If you do these rules retroactively, I guess,
Right.
we will play God. And I think there was a grudge, and I think that they thought that this would be an easy win, and Tennessee was just like, yo, the only reason why we laid in bed with you, if you will, for that Pruitt stuff was so we didn't have to pay his ass.
Yeah.
It wasn't because we're law-abiding citizens. No.
I don't think there'll be cooperation this time. Also, NCAA, show me one area Tennessee gained a competitive advantage in what Jeremy Pruitt did, because we were awful while he was the coach. Awful. Yeah. I would argue that cheating in the way they did just makes your program worse. That is the proof.
Yeah. We won a bowl game, but guess what? In that same year, we lost to Georgia State and BYU. So, God, what an embarrassing start to a season. God, that just pisses me off. I'm done talking about Jeremy Pruitt and NCAA.
Let's get into stupidity real quick.
Yeah.
This is a long episode, which I love, but yeah, it's been long.
Yeah. Stupidity, the only thing I got is the reporters for the Super Bowl. Have you seen all these questions that are being asked?
No.
So this one German reporter asked Andy Reid about his conspiracy, what he thinks about the conspiracy of all this Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift hype that has led to led to you possibly having a hand in Joe Biden being reelected? That was a question that
Know
was
that.
asked.
Well, just full disclosure, the conspiracy theories on Taylor Swift's stardom is insane. I saw one the other day on TikTok, to be fair, but this guy was serious. I think it might have been a Fox News guy who said that Taylor Swift, Landon, do you know why we've heard so much about Taylor Swift in the last 4 years? Do you know how she became so famous in the last 4 years? Because the CIA, or maybe he said the Pentagon, decided that they wanted her to be famous so she could sway the public perception and how they wanted it to be. Landon, she's been famous for almost 20 years, like mega famous, Beatles famous for 20 years. You morons. Just because you just heard of her, because you haven't owned a TV, I guess, even though you're on TV. How have people not heard about Taylor Swift until this year?
I don't know. I guess they're Patrick Star living under a rock. I don't know.
She's selling out stadiums all over the world. This woman is been mega famous for at least what? 9-10 years?
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, like her old stuff, like that's people still listen to those songs.
Yeah, the old guys who just assume she just now got famous are baffling to me.
Yeah. Listen to this question. Let me get to the...
Yeah, the reporters that.
Right here. Yep. Question from Germany. As you said before, times have changed a lot. The internet, mobile phones. What do you say about the conspiracies that have popped up concerning Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, like some kind of Republican conspiracies that you guys made it into the Super Bowl to actually secretly re-elect or help re-elect President Biden?
Okay, actually,
that's way out of my league.
Oh, I'm kind of on those. He don't want to answer that question. I might be on one of those conspiracy theories.
I mean,
the fact though that like they think Taylor Swift's boyfriend needs to win a Super Bowl for her opinion to matter to her fans. Guys, if she told her fans to invade the Middle East, the war in Iraq would look like pansy garbage shit compared to what those Swifties would do.
Yeah.
They would have found bin Laden in a month. Let's be clear about that. Those people are insane.
Yeah.
Scary insane. Her influence has zero to do with Travis Kelce.
No. Yeah. I mean, she could date. I'm convinced that the reason Travis Kelce, I think he was going to have an off year, and maybe he has a little bit, but he's picked it up because of Taylor Swift. Like, I think she is.
So you're the opposite of there's conspiracy theories that Taylor and her team and maybe the Pentagon convinced the NFL to make this happen. You think the NFL convinced Taylor Swift to make it happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or at least the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of pull out in the Midwest.
I think that's why Andy Reid was like, I'm not getting in all that because, I mean, I had a hand. Like, I introduced Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. There's also another one. It was this one about Brock Purdy.
Okay.
Lee Harvey Oswald circling around the internet right now. People think you two look alike. Did you ever hear that before?
I haven't. That's my first time hearing it. Yeah.
What do you think about that comparison? Physical comparison.
I don't know.
I mean, Lee Harvey Oswald, are we just like pulling up people and just being like,
what do you think about you looking like maybe the twin brother of the guy who assassinated the last president to be assassinated? Like, what are your thoughts on that, Landon?
Yeah.
Like, tell me, do you like that comparison? Pretty famous, huh?
What is he supposed to say? And like that guy probably got one question, and that was the question he asked Brock Purdy.
I feel like it would have been better off if he had been like, at least say he looks like someone ugly, not someone who killed a president, you moron.
Yeah.
Hell of a shot, though, huh? Like that's what he's getting at. He's like, I mean, he could shoot, though, right? I mean, come on.
Who's more accurate, you or Lee Harvey Oswald?
Yeah, I mean, good God. Like, he pulled off an impossible shot, am I right? I mean, what is Deebo Samuel to you? He's kind of like that guy on the grassy knoll, huh? You can't get it done without him, right? God. Those are insane. Yeah, Super Bowl questions are always hilarious because of the world media that shows up. It makes it a. But dude, speaking of Super Bowl questions, I always get emotional and I watch the video every time it pops up when that little kid's on his dad's shoulders and he asks Tom Brady who his hero is, and Tom Brady's just like, he's like, my dad, and then he tries to like explain, he gets choked up, and he goes, my dad. I'm like, dang, I hate you, Tom Brady, but
yeah, that's a good one.
that was good. I had something else on that. You don't want to get me started on conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
I had something else on that. I was just gonna say, Travis Kelce seems like a pretty cool dude. So I just hope the breakup doesn't happen and he gets songs written about him. That's it.
I wonder if he goes on a revenge tour as well. Like Taylor Swift's obviously going to do hers. That's what probably makes her more famous.
She dates guys just to write a new album.
Yeah. But then maybe Travis Kelce does the same thing. It just, I hope this is great, but if they do end up not working out, that they both find success in that breakup.
There you go.
You got any stupidities?
I do, but I also would like to know if the relationship doesn't work out, I hope we get a Johnny Depp, Amanda Heard trial where we find out one of them shits in the other's bed as a prank.
Yeah.
Like, I just want it to be that level of insane, you know? Like, yeah, she got coked up and just took a dump in my bed. Blamed it on the dog. Our dog weighs 10 pounds. You should have seen this thing. That's all I'm asking from celebrities. If you're, if you're going to break up, just make it very public, okay?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm a terrible person. Did I mention the Arian Foster Warren Sapp thing yet? I can't remember. Because I thought I was saving it for stupidity. I know we've talked about it.
I thought we talked. Did we not talk about it on Tuesday?
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I thought it was a stupidity.
Oh.
I don't know what I thought. I'm an idiot. Listen. Self-proclaimed right here.
Yeah.
Then in that case, I don't know if I have one.
Well, while you're looking at it, if you don't find anything, that's fine. But guys, go check out Roback, roback.com. Promo code More Important Issues gets you 20% off your first purchase. Great polos, hoodies, Q-zips, joggers, pants, shorts, shirts, whatever you want, they got it. Go check them out. Also got some women's wear for the ladies out there, or if you just like wearing women's clothes, I don't know, whatever you're into, they got it. Go check out roback.com, 20% off your first purchase. More promo code More Important Issues.
Yeah, go check that out. Also, before we get out of here, it's still, again, we kind of broke the fourth wall, I guess. I don't know if that'd be the right way to say it, but now we are recording this on Wednesday night. So wish Landon a happy birthday right now in the chat. If you don't, you're dead to us. He is 29. Sorry, didn't mean to age you, but you are 29.
That's fine.
Wish him a happy birthday.
I think the worst thing about birthdays is like, do you feel 29? I'm like, yes, I do. I am 29 and I have feeling. Yes, I feel 29.
Yes, I can tell that 29 years to the day I was birthed from my mother.
Yesterday,
Thank
no.
you.
Today, yes.
Yeah, I remember exactly what the doctor was wearing. White coat, gloves, mask. Wait, COVID wasn't around. Mask wouldn't matter then. I could see that man's smile and his nose hairs.
He was breathing on me. All right. Anything else?
No, that's it. Also, dude, these hoodies are very comfortable, by the way.
Awesome. Yeah, go check out University Traditions. Great people over there.
Shout out.
Guys, thanks for listening. We'll be back on Sunday talking about Tennessee's win, speaking into existence over Texas A&M.
We're actually recording this on Sunday.
Yeah.
Next Sunday, or this coming Sunday. Yeah.
Also, that might be, we'll have to figure that out Super Bowl Sunday. So we'll figure that out. Whatever. whatever. We'll have an episode at some point this weekend. So go check that out. Thank y'all for listening. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.